Welcome into the Cam Strick podcast, episode number 180, baby. Brought to you by Hair Club. Cam, back in the day when I was just a young little stricky, cruising around the neighborhood.
Not wheeling.
I had a BMX bike, and I used to do 180s all the time. I did a lot of things on my BMX bike. 180s, 360s, used to go off the quarter pipe. You know, we did a lot of cool things, man.
You
Very
probably had
dangerous.
like a little basket in front, hanging with like candy and shit, flowers.
A bell.
One of those the little thingies around the top. Now, I'm not going to chirp ride bike. Man, we all did that shit. We all rode bikes, man. We did. Rollerbladed, rode bikes, hang out in the back. It's so nice, like growing up in like the woods, like that part. Like, don't get me wrong, like ticks on your dog that are the size of your fucking head. Those are horrible. Spiders in my bed, snakes everywhere, getting bit by a copperhead because you sat on a log. Like that shit sucked. The bugs and shit. And I will never live out in the woods again. But being a kid, being out in the woods was awesome.
Yeah, you know the best part about being out in the woods in like Colorado and Arizona? No bugs. There's like no bugs, dude.
That's debatable. Big time, dude.
There's not a lot of ticks. There's no like gnats. There's no mosquitoes. Debatable. No mosquitoes, dude. Get up to the higher elevation, Cam. You should know this.
Yeah, higher elevation. You don't have mosquitoes. But you still have a bunch of shit. You still got a bunch of shit.
Well, yeah, you get some of the stuff you got to worry about, snakes and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, you still have to worry about that. Tarantulas, no. Tarantulas, no. That's a South America partner. But anyway, up in the mountains, they got to worry about bear. Like, there's all kinds of shit you got to worry about. But there's bugs everywhere, man. You go to Minnesota, they got horseflies, fucking huge. Bite the shit out of you.
You know what you worry about in Missouri? You know what you worry about in Missouri? Raccoons.
You just sweep them off with a broom on the front porch. No.
No.
That's a Forrest Gump quote. No, raccoons, those are actually, they get in your trash. Just close your trash up. Don't be a fucking Hoosier. That's what you have to worry about raccoons in like, the south side of the city. But out here, you worry about, like snakes, man. I told you.
Who lives in the south side of the city? And get that damn cat off of your desk right now. I don't know what is going on with your animals. Precious kitty. Your animals are out of control. We'll get into that here in just a minute.
They're out of control.
Yeah, man, you know nothing about living in the woods. In fact, if we did like a challenge, like a 30-day challenge, you and I, who could survive the longest, dude? Honestly, you'd be surprised that I would survive much longer than you. Because you even admit that you're a princess, dude.
Andy, we both wouldn't survive, so let's be honest here. But look, I could outrun you. And there's nothing that you have to outrun here. It's more like just sucking it up. Don't get bit by a snake. Don't eat the bullshit. There could be, there's things. But listen, if you drop me off in the middle of Missouri, I'm not worried. Sorry, I'm not worried. You drop me off in the middle of fucking Missouri in the woods, and I got to survive getting out of there with no shoes, no shirt. I'll do it. You drop me off in the middle of goddamn Montana, we have problems. You drop me off in the middle of the fucking Everglades in Florida, we got problems. You drop me off in goddamn the desert down in Arizona, we got problems.
Listen, ever since I encountered a bear,
and we don't need to rehash the bear thing because people are going to fucking turn off.
And I had to look it straight in the eye, Cam, and let it know that I mean business and I got a family to protect. And I ran down that hill as fast as I could, man. I actually have bear spray that I keep in my car now at all times, just in case. I had a little bit of post-traumatic syndrome. I'm not going to lie, dude. I couldn't sleep for several days after that.
I'll do it.
You know what had been the biggest fear that I've ever had in my entire life was a bear encounter. And then it happened. It was very, very traumatic. And not many people can handle that, Cam. And
can I tell a story?
About it.
Can I tell a story? Because no one cares about that.
Well, it better be good.
I don't know if I said this on. Maybe I did already. Damn. My neighbor and the 7-footer snake that fell through his fucking AC unit when he's on the bike in the basement.
Oh yeah.
Did I tell that story yet?
I think you did. Probably. Okay, you tell every story 5 or 6 times. I probably heard that one 20
Well, at least
times.
they're cool. So I have we have these huge black snakes are fine. Okay, black snakes are the snakes that are actually good snakes. They kill mice. They do this. They do that. They're not. They get a hardcore bite, but they're not going to kill you. They're not venomous to a point where it's going to hurt you. So they're actually good for whatever. You kill a copperhead, that's all good. Rattlesnake, man, they're near your kids. You got to do what you got to do. But these fucking black snakes are cruising. And when you wake up and you look in your backyard, beautiful backyard, by the way, you could see the trail from these snakes. They're creeping up to your house. And you're kind of like looking ways to get in. It's getting cold, whatever the case is. So my neighbor, Wes, hockey player, by the way, awesome guy, younger than me, cool as shit. He's like, dude, you got to come over here. You got to help me kill some. He helped me kill a snake the day before, and he calls me up. He goes, oh, my fucking God, get over here. I go, what? He goes, get over here. I go, okay. He goes, bring something. We got to kill this thing. He's in his basement. It's not finished yet. And all of a sudden he's on the bike, like doing his workout, like, yes, I'm getting a workout and yay. And all of a sudden he hears something in the top part of the vents. And all of a sudden it comes crashing down. Bam! And this 7-foot black snake's like, hello, I'm here. And like, that fucks you up. And so his wife's right there trying to work out. She's doing like, and they're like freaking out. This thing's like, oh, it was the creepiest thing in the world. So I go over there with a spade shovel and we went under the AC unit.
Chopped the head off?
Chopped the motherfucking head off. Although it's a black snake and people are like, don't do that. But I'm like, fuck that. You got to kill the thing after this. So we're like, what happened? How did he get in? So we look around and his AC unit wasn't caulked. And there was like a spot where these snakes can creep in and it went up. It was so heavy it fell through.
Listen, that would have never passed inspection if you had the right inspector when he bought that house. That should have been caulked up.
That makes a lot more money than both of us.
We call those
smarter than both of us.
We call those gardener snakes. Okay.
Who's we?
Well, people where I'm from, we call
you and your nerdy neighbors. You and your nerd fuck neighbors. Like, are you kidding me? They don't know shit. You're right by a highway. I like your house. Don't get me wrong.
I've got these dudes banging on my door right now. There's a big vote tomorrow with the aldermen, dude, and like they're going toe to toe about
what?
The streets, redoing.
What
they
want to do?
Well, one guy wants to create like a SID. You know what that is? It's like whatever
sidewalk.
Like you get taxed. No, the entire streets.
Oh, okay.
Like all the streets. So he wants to create like a SID or whatever, where like the taxpayers have to pay for it. It'd be like $4,000 a resident here in the neighborhood for the next like 20, 30 years.
Well, are the streets kind of shitty? If they're shitty, then that might be a nice fucking thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to pay money for
the other guy is like, what he wants to do is create individual homeowner associations for each street to bring the cost down. So we'd have our own individual homeowners association just for our street.
Well,
which
that makes
would mean
sense too.
Each person would pay less. So I don't know who to go for, dude.
Yeah, well, they're both okay. Listen, if you got to pay a little bit more, it happens out here too, man. To make shit nice, dude, there's people, if there's one little thing wrong out here in St. Albans, they are on it so fast. But you look at your goddamn bill and you're like, yeah, they got me on that. But on the other hand, everything's fucking nice, Andy. You don't live in nice areas and then you're fucking cheap when you live there. You need to get shit done. You don't want fucking potholes. You live in a nice goddamn area, dude. Like, I'll pay extra money, make shit nice for me. That's how I look at it.
Well, I got to talk it over with my neighbors, the one who 100% on the ACT goes to Harvard University and get his take. I'm going to vote whatever he votes.
I don't know. See, that's the kind of stupid ass goofy bullshit you see on fucking Twitter. I'm going to vote for I'm going to vote. No, that's not how you should think. He might not know a fuck from shit when it comes to so many goddamn things. He just might be smart at math and this and that. He might not even know what the come on.
He's
Andy.
Very smart.
That's what you're just like the sheep on social media. This is a new thing. Let's go. I'm supporting it. What? Like, sit back and think.
Well, my neighbor with the okra garden too, fresh okra, which should be growing very, very soon. Cam, I'm going to bring some out to you.
I don't want it.
Probably have to ship it because I'm not driving all the way out to you.
I don't want okra.
Way too far away.
I don't care about it. It doesn't.
Well, I'll see what he's voting too. I'll probably vote with whatever he wants.
Dude, I don't want anything that you're making.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't make interesting shit. If you make a bunch of fucking lobster tails and fucking fine, because I know you're a fish kind of guy. You don't eat meat.
I'll do that.
You're like, I'm a vegan. My neighbors are vegan. I am a vegan. It's cool. I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. But like, if you eat fish, I'll eat it, but I don't eat leftover shit. So like, if I'm going to be around you, I don't know how you're going to give me fucking lobster tail. How about you just buy it and give it to me, and I'll cook the motherfucker.
Well, I'll cook it up. First off, can I talk about your grilling yesterday? Get that damn cat off to death. Listen, it's making my eyes itch. Your cat is making my eyes itch with my allergies.
It's impossible, Andy.
Let me tell you this.
That's a stupid statement.
No, here's what's stupid. You're grilling yesterday. You're putting this stuff out on social media. You're grilling. You're going to feed people with what you're eating, and you've got your dogs with his feet up on the counter. Like, what are you doing? Are you going to train the dog? Seriously? You let your dog just walk on the counter, these dirty ass paws.
It hopped up. It hopped up.
You got food up there.
Well, you got to put food somewhere, and they kind of jump up, and yeah, they're kind of undisciplined when it comes to that. And yeah, the nail thing, because they don't like to get their nails cut. They go like having like a fucking seizure and like go to the bathroom while they try to do it. So we got to put them under, meaning like you got to like knock them out to cut their nails, which kind of sucks.
You do that when you have to do their nails?
They freak out. They have they'll start pooping everywhere. God. I know. It's not good. They freak out so bad.
First off, Kate put a video on the other day No surprise, but I had the dogs inside.
Yeah.
Your videos are always like an orange color to it. I don't know if you
She
changed
tends. She tends.
She
That's what
tints
she does.
it.
Yeah.
So like the dogs are like orange.
No, they are
And
orange, Andy. I mean, it doesn't
they're
tint that much. It just
they're
makes it like.
barking. They're barking the
Oh.
entire video. I will say a
Annoying.
couple things. First off, I like Kate's style. Your dining room table from a distance looks far because I only see one room in your house. I like the big J picture that you have
Jansen.
leaning up against the wall. Well, it's not bad. It's not bad. She's got some good style, but these dogs barking. I had a headache. I hadn't had a headache like that. I can't tell you the last time I had a headache like that.
I didn't know
since I watched your video with your dogs barking nonstop.
I yelled at her for that. I go, why you do? Because she just got off work. She's been drinking, and she thinks everything's fine. And I'm like sitting there watching a Garth Brooks documentary. I'm like passed out. We've been partying all day, and I'm like, stop. And then she filmed that and posted. I go, don't do that. I go, I look like I'm fucking wasted, which I was. And I'm like, I don't need people to see that. I already do enough shit.
No, it was not a good look.
It was a terrible look. And I yelled at her for it, and she deleted it.
If I would have posted that, you would have been like, why the hell are you posting that? That's terrible. You know nothing about your social media.
Well, it's bigger than yours. But the point is,
that's what you would tell me.
Oh, if you... Yeah, I don't
mind
seeing that. If I don't mind seeing your internal stuff, dude. I like when you post stuff when Ty's like fucking hitting a dinger. I like when you do your social media's been pretty good. Like it's good. If you posted stuff with her in the basement doing the dogs running around and I'd laugh at that. Like I wouldn't mind it, but I don't want that. So I told Kego, she's like, sorry, she's been off work. Like she's getting a new job. Like she's chilling. And I told her, stop doing that. Especially when I'm not looking. I look like shit for one.
Well,
but we just chill, man. And the dogs do get annoying, but then they're cute as fuck.
Terrible documentary you're watching too. Garth Brooks.
He's cool as shit. No, he's cool. He's a big hockey fan too. He was I'm not even a country guy. He was so gigantic. He was a fucking Beatles, dude. And it was just him. He's Garth Brooks. He's like Elvis, meaning like maybe there's a band that's good. Like the Beatles are a band. Now John Lennon,
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
They're a band. But he's him. He took the fucking world by storm, and he's a cool cat, man. And there was a time, Andy, actually, we just got partying. We were getting back from a long road trip, and we flew into Chesterfield in the private area right there, and we had at Annie Gunn's a private showing with Garth Brooks and his wife.
I remember that.
I was so addicted to painkillers at the time that I ran out, and I'm like in the back of the plane, like, oh God, I'm like, fuck. Everybody's like, we gotta go. Let's go right now. Boom, meet there in 10. I skipped the whole thing because I had to fucking go home. And
that's the most Cam Jansen thing ever. That's exactly what you would do. You would skip.
Exactly what
you would miss it. Because you do that now. Cam's like, I'm not driving out.
No, I do because I don't give a fuck about shit.
I got an event tomorrow night. Actually, the night that this is dropping with Craig Berube, dude. I'd love for you and Kate to come with us.
Why the fuck would I do that? Why would I leave anywhere to go watch an event with Craig? I love Craig Berube. To talk about what? What? I know everything.
Hanging out. No, we're just hanging. Honestly,
I don't want.
We'll do a little Q&A. I'm going to ask some questions to some people that are there, and then we're just going to sip tequila and just chill.
I don't want to go hang out with people and put a suit on. I don't fit right in my
Garth
suits.
Brooks part of that Codigo?
Yeah. No, that's George.
Or is that Tim McGraw?
That's George.
George Strait.
But I don't want to go hang out.
George Strait goes by his name too, and Tim McGraw. All these country guys. You act like no country people do that. They all do.
No, Andy, I know they do because country singers. Listen, if you go to a country concert, you don't give a fuck about the drummer. You don't give about the fucking rhythm guitar. You don't give a fuck about anybody else. You care about the lead singer. In other bands, everybody's cool. Okay, everybody's cool in other bands. In country bands, the lead singer's cool, and that's usually it because he's the guy singing. They don't. It's just him. Like it's just different because the drum beat. What's that?
Isn't he married to Trisha Yearwood?
Yeah. She cooks food and stuff. They have their own channel.
Oh, I watch her cooking show all the time.
It's really
she
good.
Cooks Southern
She's cool
food.
as shit. They're Christian and like religious and stuff, but he's fucking cool.
Okay,
kind of.
I think this may be like his second or third wife, something like that. Maybe not. I don't even know.
Yeah, but they talk about it. His wife was. Imagine, Andy, like. All of a sudden, you become the most popular motherfucker in the world. Everybody wants you. You're everywhere. Like nothing else matters. Not to mention, you don't have social media. You don't have time video where you could you don't have any connection. You have to go to a fucking payphone or whatever. In the early 90s, like, it's a different animal. And he was so you can't live a normal life. Like, that's what you wanted, but you don't realize how big and how isolated you are from everything else. And he's just cool about it, though. He's not like, oh, God, no, he's just like, God damn it, man. He's just like, cool.
No, Trisha Yearwood, she puts bacon bits on her mashed potatoes. I'm not having it.
Well,
I'm not having
it.
it.
Pussy.
Okay, she makes grits. She's
good.
very Southern, a lot of biscuits, a lot of very unhealthy food, Cam. I'm not having that cooking show, but she always has it.
Get a body like Andy. I'm the health freak. Listen, man.
In a very nice setting. It's always a beautiful background. They've got a beautiful country little house out there. It's not a little house. Yeah. But like,
I like to get up and throw bacon. I like to take fat, thick chunks of bacon.
No.
When I get up early in the morning, Kate's still sleeping with the puppies, and I make sure the kitchen's cleaned up. I put on Smithsonian Channel. I get everything I get my fucking mind right, have my coffee, and I put fat ass slabs of bacon on, and in this big filled pan, and I put a cover on it, and I put it really low, and let this just soak, and you take that lid off, and it smells the room up so goddamn good.
I'm telling you this right now. I'm about to do it live on this show to take your cholesterol, dude. Your cholesterol, is a concern. It is now a legitimate concern.
I drink a lot of beer, man. That's what you got to worry about. Is
there a lot of cholesterol in the beer? Because I'm talking about this bacon you're eating.
I don't know. I do eat a lot of bacon. I do a lot of meat, man. I got a fucking sponsored a butcher shop.
So do I, but I don't eat fatties, dude.
Well, you don't eat meat, homie. There you go. Jesus.
Hey, I'm going to bring you to that event tonight, though, with Craig Berube. It's going to be a lot of fun. Probably sip some tequila and talk about a number of very interesting topics. Get behind the scenes there, Cam. So we'll see if you want to join us.
I like you and him, but I'm not going to go to that.
Okay.
This will be
that's what I'm talking about. So the people out there understand, like, when Garth Brooks has a private dinner, like, Cam doesn't show up.
I was addicted to opioids, man. That's
a different story. That's a different story. I'm not going to chirp you for that.
Well, you just did.
No, I said you didn't go, and you're not coming to the event. My event.
I'm not going to your event because it's not that interesting. It's cool for you to host it and stuff like that. Like, I like that. That's cool. But I just don't want to go just socialize. Kate and I have to pick and choose what we're going to do. We're going to Cabo on a fucking private jet. We're doing fucking cool shit coming up here. We're going down to where you just went. We're staying in that badass cabin. Like, we're getting a boat. Like, we just have shit going on.
Are you staying at the same spot that where we stayed?
No, Big Cedar? Nicer. But
no,
anyway,
it's not nice. There's nothing nicer out there. Actually, you're either in like major like hillbilly Hoosier area, or you stay there.
I know what you mean, but we're staying in a cabin that's like closer to the water. We don't need to stay in like where the kids stuff is because we don't need any of that. We're right by where you can rent a boat. It's actually cool. But you did a good job. I'm not chirping. You did a good job with that. But
take her to dinner, top of the rock. If you need help getting in or something like that, I can probably make a phone call for you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Okay, get your.
That's not my folk down there. But Kate and I don't do. We are going to our first game in a long time.
I know. I can't wait to see you there. And actually, it's perfect because it's a 2:00 game.
Yep.
And
taking my buddies and stuff too.
It's an ABC game that day, so we'll be able to hang out and chill and enjoy.
Yeah. Well, we just like to, even drive.
Or maybe it's ESPN. I'm surprised you don't want to stay home and watch the ESPN game.
They think about fucking suck. Everything about it fucking sucks. And I love Mess, and I want him on the back of chat, but he's fucking terrible too. The delay out the fuck. I'm like, what? They're like, oh, and now here's the game. Like, what? I have to watch a fucking squirrel eat a nut for fucking 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden they're like, but what? Here it is. They fucking suck, dude.
Oh, man. I think you're just taking that really too far, Cam. You're just being very offensive. Very offensive.
I just chirp Mess. Like, I don't want to chirp Mess. Yeah, I want him on the podcast and shit. But he's not very good.
What do you think of Kevin Weeks and his videos and stuff?
I like Weeksy, man. Weeksy was really good to me, dude, and with the Devils, man. He was fucking
He's always been great to me, too,
dude,
man.
He is a cool cat. He was so fucking nice to me when I was a young kid, punk fuck kid. He probably never thought I was going to stay because I was crazy. And he was really nice to me. And I'll never forget that.
See, listen, man. People should know that. That is a life lesson for people.
I'll never forget who was so nice. And they didn't.
Who else was nice to you? Who else was nice to you?
A lot of guys. And listen, man, I I was pretty funny and cool.
Let me
with
ask you
guys,
this.
but I don't know.
Let me ask Cam.
Yeah. What?
Who was a dick to you? Give me somebody.
Well,
somebody was.
Well,
Who was?
What? There's a couple guys that were dicks to me right off the bat, and I'm like, oh boy, like Jason Weimer put me in my fucking place, where he got drunk one night and really fucking bashed me, man.
Really?
Yeah, at the end of the year.
He's lucky I wasn't there with you at the time.
And I like Weimer, and we had a good time.
Could I have taken Jason
Andy,
Weimer?
No, and I'm being dead serious on this. It kind of fucked me up a little bit. And one time when I first got called up, coming down from Albany, when my parents were there. Remember, I told the story with Lou and the fucking phone, and then I got called up and we're driving down to New York, and they stayed in the hotel the night before when they played the Rangers, and me and my parents are in our hillbilly sweatpants. And we walk into the
I remember to the breakfast.
We walk into either there's a breakfast or a dinner, and everybody's in their suits, and they lost like 4 games in a row, and they needed this spark. And I walk in that goddamn thing, not knowing I need a suit. My parents are behind me with their glowy eyes, like, hey. And I walk in, and Richard Mavachuk, they all stop and stare at me, and I'm like, oh my God. And Richard goes, huh, this is our savior.
Get him on. Let's get him on the podcast. I love Richard Mapachek. He was great in the Dallas Stars teams too.
And then after that, we became buddies. Obviously, like
Cam, can I just back up here?
Yeah.
I mean, you act like they just pulled you out of like some like crime-riddled neighborhood. You had never been around hockey your entire life. Like, dude, you're in the mix. You're playing in the OHL. Then you're in the American Hockey League. You didn't know you had to wear a suit to the games?
I just got called. I didn't know they were in a hotel eating. I didn't know where I was going. I thought it was a hotel was for me, but it was for the team.
You got to borrow a suit. It's like Mackenzie McEachran the other day.
Andy,
so quick. It
was at nighttime. I got called up. I think it was at nighttime. And I got there, and I just saw I was walking into a hotel that they put me in, but the team was staying there because Lou made the team stay in a hotel before the games of playing the Rangers. I had no idea what the fuck. You think I'm poor? Yeah, I was poor. My parents didn't have any money. We were Hoosiers. We're from.
You had your signing bonus by then. You could have afforded a suit.
No, I know, and I was making like $60,000, and I was okay. Like you probably make money, but like I didn't. Like it just was Andy. I didn't know yet. I just turned 20.
Well, you learn right off the bat.
I might have been 20. Like I was young as fuck still. And my parents never had, what I mean.
Can I ask you a question? You think the Minnesota Wild are like legit? When I say like legit,
I like
obviously
them.
playing. Hold on, they're playing great right now.
Yeah,
I like the Wild. I mean, I like the way that they're built. I love Billy Guerin. I like the fact that their head coach like punches his assistant coach in the face when they win. Have you seen that?
That's a little corny, but whatever.
Okay, well, he just does it.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah, I know. Listen, there's a lot about the Wild that's a little corny. I just can't figure it out. But they've got Kaprizov. I don't know if they have any other like stars on the team. I think Fiala is like a very underrated player. I think if you have a Fiala on you, Fiala's good, dude.
Zuccarello.
He's really good too. Not a superstar.
Right he is.
Not a superstar, but he's a really good player.
He compliments people, man.
Oh, dude.
Who's a superstar on the Blues when they won? Petro?
Well, O'Reilly, Petro, they were kind of.
O'Reilly, I mean, what? He's not going end to end like Kipper. There's no Kaprizov as a superstar on the team. The Blues don't have a superstar like that.
No,
that guy has a puck the whole game.
Bennington, Chief.
I mean, seriously though.
I know. Listen, I get it. I'm not saying that they can't win.
Well, you asked me.
More superstars. But all I'm saying, listen, they're winning every game right now. They're winning in dramatic fashion. They're going on the road. They're beating good teams on the road. They're beating
out shot winning, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, what does that mean? Are they a real threat coming out of the West? What's your take on this?
My take is any team can beat any motherfucking team. They got the goaltending now, although Marc-Andre Fleury, and he's going to perform. You know he is when they need him.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's going to happen. Like Kipper's fucking good. He's a legit superstar. He's a superstar. I mean, they got big dudes. They got fucking guys that can skate the puck and the defenses. They're good. And I like it. And I like Billy Guerin. And I like that they're fucking mean and tough. And they got that big old fucking Foligno that'll run you through. I like that. They're fucking cool. And good for that city. And I like teams that want to go all in when they need to go all in. And they're like, fuck everything. Let's go. I appreciate that. I like tough in your face teams, man. I just really, really, really do. So I don't care if they do have a superstar. They got a monster superstar. Kaprizov is a fucking superstar.
Yeah.
Watch him. He's completely different than everybody else. Like he is. Like he completely looks completely different than everybody else.
And that's how I've said that since I was a kid, dude. Like when I first saw Mario Lemieux for the first time,
or Bure.
I remember saying, I'm like, Mario, he just looks different than everybody else. Gretzky looked different than everybody else. Yager, different than everybody else.
Brett Hull, he's different. Like
Cale Makar, he looks different too.
I know. like who looked different on the Blues when they won? Nobody.
Binnington.
Sometimes he did. Yeah.
No, I'm with you, man. Hey, listen.
Nobody.
The Blues caught lightning in a bottle, and if there ever was a true team that won the Stanley Cup, I mean, they would certainly.
Well, that's why I can never be like, I don't know. Whoever has a solid team and is really going, could beat anybody.
Well, let me say this too, because I'll never forget. Remember, the Blues won 11 games in a row that year. Towards the end of the year, also, it's always like Ray Bennett, who's now the
I like him
assistant coach of the Colorado Avalanche. Very smart, very under the radar. Him. I bet you, if you polled 100 hockey fans and you said, "Do you know who Ray Bennett is?" and none of the fans existed in St. Louis or Colorado, I would say 90%, if not more, have no idea who he is.
Well, who knows any assistant coach that didn't play in the NHL?
I'm just saying. And this guy's one of the smartest, one of the brightest hockey minds in the league. Any head coach would love to have a guy like him standing right next to them on the bench, dude.
Andy,
that's why Hitch loved him. And now Jared Bednar, man, if you watch Colorado Avalanche games and there's a timeout or there's a situation in the game where he's got to consult his assistant coach, who does he turn to?
Yeah, man. No, you're right.
Ray Bennett every time. I coached his son, Cale. I was an assistant coach, good little player, defenseman, went and played at Western Michigan. You know, he and Andy Murray were super tight. But, you know, Ray used to come out and run practices and he's just his hockey mind is next level, dude. There's a lot of people like that are out there.
Here's that, and he's a sweetheart of a man.
Yeah, great.
Not that he would kiss your ass, not that you, but he was just real with you. He just is so pure.
Mm-hmm.
I remember he
yelled at you one time.
Oh yeah. Man, I fucked up a couple times in front of him, and I just
hey, that's okay. That's okay.
You know, but one time I'll tell a story real quick. We're in Chicago. They're really good. 2010-ish. They're dominating. Ben Eager's on that team, and me and him go back and forth. And
255s.
Yeah, 255s. And he's a good player. He's a first-round pick. I played against him in Oshawa in the juniors. We had a
little overrated after a while. I don't know.
100%. He was a fourth-line guy that was better than guys like me, but maybe not as tough. Wouldn't fight the heavies like I did. So, but he'd score big-time goals, man. Like, he was good. He could penalty kill and stuff. He was fast. So he's scary. Anybody that can hit you is scary. Okay, they might not knock you with a punch, but if they're able, and they're big enough to hit you, that's horrifying. Anyway, so we're in front of scrum. Andy, he comes behind me, and it gets me in a chokehold, so bad, and I'm like, gah, 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 and I couldn't breathe, and all of a sudden I'm like, purple head, and there's a picture of me right afterwards where I'm pointing at him. It's the funniest thing, and we go to the penalty, but we both get a penalty, which is like, fuck you, and we're going back. I'm like, I'll fuck you up, blah blah blah. We get on the ice. Puck goes right to him. He goes all the way down and scores. And I could have caught up to him. And I'm like, fuck. And then Ray Bennett laid into me.
Yeah, I remember that.
I get choked out, which is embarrassing. And then I'm like, tough guy. And we're about to go. And he fucks me. And this goes right to the net and gets the puck and scores. And it's just like the ultimate double fuck in the ass. And, anyway.
I remember that. You told that story. You've told that story. Anybody listening, this is like episode 180. They probably heard that at some point earlier. But hey, there's a lot of people who haven't heard that.
It's not even a cool story. It's kind of a belittling, sometimes it's more of like if you're a parent and your kid, like sometimes like you're too loud and you're like, me. The other guy's just going to beat you and things. Just calm down. Fucking look at what you're dealing with first. Go on the ice. Yeah. Look at the puck. Look at him. Ask him, but fucking foul the puck. I went right at him. He juked me out. That's a lesson to the parents. Okay.
Dude, everybody's talking about this Tyson Nash situation. Trevor Zegras, he does the Michigan again. I mean, this guy just keeps doing it.
Oh, he tried to do between his legs first.
I had this conversation. He did. It was a hell of a play, dude. I had this conversation with some people this morning. What's the most difficult move? Is it to shoot with bodies hovering over you, like with no space between your legs and try to go bar down like Matthew Tkachuk does all the time, or Philip Forsberg and some of these guys? Or is it when you have time and space behind the net to scoop the puck and get it on your blade and score a Michigan goal? Like and do they belong in the same category?
The most difficult move is a move that you're in with pressure and that you have to get out of. You know what I mean? Like if the puck's on your stick like this, to take it and push it, it's not that hard to do if no one's pressuring you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like the
not with their hands, not with these.
Those guys are so good; they can lift that thing up in 2 seconds and do it. So it's not that difficult.
Girl from the Chicago Mission playing against Little Caesars. Did you see that, or Honey Baked or somebody?
Yeah, I saw.
I think it was Caesars, and it was like USA Hockey Nationals. So it was probably like the U16 age group or whatever it was, and she did the Michigan. Not to say that like women can't do it. Don't get me wrong. Don't look at it like that. I'm just saying kids. No, I'm saying kids.
I know what you're saying, Andy. You don't have to fucking backpedal. Who cares?
Well, you never know nowadays.
Well, not with our fucking group who's listening. We're not going to clip that off and put it on fucking Twitter. This is our fucking hardcore fucking fans that love us. And we love them, by the way. Yeah, man, I don't know. Ain't that hard to do? How about you just like rock them? There's some clips now. People are trying to do it in college, and some of these guys like, go fuck yourself. Putting them on their ass. How about like, that whole situation too? It's like Nasher maybe minced words a little wrong. And I've been there before. Hi. We all have, but like when people call for your job like that, they're fucking psychos. Like Nashville's
who's calling for his job?
Like Keith Olbermann. I don't know, a bunch of. You see the Twitter people. Oh, I love everything. I'm the best person. This guy needs to go. God, what he said about the skill. What's the phrase so we don't fuck it up, Andy? What
he said. We're gonna paraphrase because I don't have it in front of me. But like for those guys that try to do the skill moves, then don't be surprised if you get punched in the mouth.
But he didn't mean that. He just meant like, don't show off when you're up by 5 and then wink at each other and then hit the goal like that. It's all combined. Dude, I love Nasher, man. He should have. You want these guys to be able to do whatever the fuck they want to do. And it's not even, you can't get mad at them for it. How about you guys do something and like hit them behind the net and like stop them from doing it? Like it's on you.
Let's break down the play, Cam, because I want to get your take on this. Go ahead. And first off, I think from what I understand, Zegras may have skated past their bench a little bit, like giving the old, fingers, type thing, like not giving the finger, but, listen, a little bit of, cockiness, whatever, when he skated by their bench. And he is a young guy and he plays with a lot of charisma. He's got a lot of, obviously a lot of, gets a lot of attention out there, dude. I mean, I love Trevor Zegras, dude. You had him on the podcast. He was great.
His family.
I do think he's great for the game. But I also look at the game the way it is right now, right? I mean, fighting is part of the game. There's, every time you step on the ice, there's always a chance that, you may find yourself in a situation that you're not comfortable in. Now, can you avoid it? Yeah, you probably can avoid it. Now, the play late in the game, Anaheim's trying to, jab in a loose puck. They're up 5-0. It's late. And what happens? Jay Beagle, he cross-checks Trevor Zegras from behind. Zegras goes down, and Troy Terry, a guy who obviously has had a great year, he scored a bunch of goals for Anaheim. He comes in the defense of his teammate, Trevor Zegras, with his hands up high on Beagle. And so Beagle takes that as, okay, hey, you want to go? And he starts pumping him. And he punched him 3, 4, 5 times, whatever it is. And then now you see Troy Terry. The look of it obviously isn't very good. He's got the black eye and he's cut all around.
Yeah, I think
he
got
his. It's pretty nasty.
I think he got rocked to a point where I think he broke an orbital a little bit.
Oh yeah, it was nasty. Yeah. So everyone's going crazy, about whether or not that Beagle should have unloaded on Troy Terry. And to make matters even worse and to bring more attention to it, I honestly, I think Tyson Nash is taking more heat than Jay Beagle is because of his comments on the broadcast, which some people maybe think is archaic and, it's way too old school. And that mindset should no longer be in the game about, hey, beating the hell out of somebody just because he comes into a scrum when you're much stronger or tougher than the player that you're fighting against. And people are looking at it a couple of different ways, Cam. This is where I want to get your take.
Yeah.
Was he pissed off because they were losing? It was late in the game. Was he trying to get retribution because of what happened earlier in the game with the Michigan goal scored by Zegras? And if you're Troy Terry, can you just prevent any of this from happening whatsoever if you don't come in strong into the scrum? I see a lot of guys come in, but it's obvious that they're not looking for a fight, whatever. They just kind of hold on to somebody or whatever. But he came in pretty aggressive with his hands up high.
All right, I'll tell you.
In on Jay Beagle, you know?
Okay, so I look at it like this. If you're the Coyotes, you guys are so terrible. Like, you're down by 5. It's frustrating one way or the other. But you can't blame these kids to be creative. You could be creative. You want to try something fucking crazy because their defense sucks, then do it. You got to build your name. You got to get your fan base going. It's all like, it's a business. If you're letting me do cool ass shit, I'm going to do it. Now, if you're fucking talking shit throughout that process, Andy, and skating by the bench like, fuck all y'all. Like, I'm not saying they're doing it, but he probably was. And they're doing their fucking cocky shit. Now you're like egging them on. Now if I'm Jay Beagle, who's not very tough, by the way, he'll block shots and do things. But, like, he ain't scary. It's not Willie. It's not fucking Delorier, who, by the way, you traded. It's not like a monster.
It's not Reaver.
He's not Reeve Dog. Like, he ain't scary. And ask Aaron Ashram about that one. Like, he's not. Now, he's a warrior. He's a journey. He's been around a long time. But, like, I bet you, like, if you want to do the cool fucking between, you could do that all you want. Just fucking play it cool then, because you're gonna piss a lot of guys off. And I don't blame guys.
Don't show people up.
Don't show it. But you could do that shit. Be as skilled as you want and just act cool and go to the bench. Don't even celebrate. Just go to the fucking bench like a cool ass motherfucker. Like, I'm gonna be doing this for another decade or 15 years on all y'all. This is my shit. That's totally fine. Because when people, old school guys, say they shouldn't even be doing it, no, they should, because you're letting them do it. And this is fucking skill ass shit, and you need to show that off. Don't be a motherfucker, though, and start fucking talking shit and bring that on. Then you're going to have problems. And I think that's probably the case. And they did jab the guy. And here's another thing, by the way, Troy Terry. If you're going to go into a scrum when you know these guys are pissed because you're fucking doing crazy shit on them, you know it's there. Like, you just know it's coming. You could feel the emotion. Don't come in like, oh, I'm just going to get beat up. Like, remember Matthew Tkachuk did that behind net and I was so mad because you can get hurt that way. That's exactly what happened with, Cassian. You don't ever let anybody ragdoll you, especially when you're going into a scrum, whenever you're talking shit, doing that shit all night. Like, you got to protect yourself. And Jay Beagle ain't that tough. So, and as far as Tyson,
even Tyson Nash came out and said afterwards, hey, he's all about the skill. And again, he didn't like, the heat of the moment. Listen, anybody who's ever been a broadcaster or whatever, like you start speaking and whatever. And I'm not going to make any excuses for what he said. He said what he said. Yeah, but everyone kind of knew what he meant. I mean, that's the old school thought. You start doing that, you start chirping the bench and whatever. Now, here's what he said when, after the fact. He said, by all means, go for it. I'm all about the skill. It's the hot dogging. It's the hooting and the smirking, chirping the fans, all that stuff that adds up. Players don't forget. They've got a lot of pride when they put that jersey on. And when players do that, there are consequences.
Thank you.
And that's been part of the game for a long time. And that's why you have a lot of these old school players who are saying, hey, listen, you want to do that. Hey, it may come at a cost. Now, a lot of the media who are much louder than these old school players who are saying, you know what, just because you make a skill play, that's an excuse for the other team to kind of punch you in the mouth and beat the shit out of you.
But they don't get it, though. That's what there's a difference. That's what I'm saying. And I'm not gonna lie to you. There's even old school guys like, you shouldn't even try to score that. Fuck that. If they're gonna let you get 10, you get fucking 20. And it's a business, because the more you score, the more money you're gonna make. And it's about that. And the more people want you, no. Fuck that. You do, but don't be a dick about it. Just that's that simple. If they would have been quiet and said, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna fucking skate to and that's even cooler anyway. When you don't do shit afterwards, like, I'm gonna do a motherfucking fuck like Datsuk used to do. Remember when Datsuk used to just do? He never did shit. Dude,
now,
he's
let me
like,
ask you this.
Own all you motherfuckers.
Is the league doing too much to build these guys up? Because the league, obviously, like, whenever you see the Michigan, whatever, it's all over the social media. They're going crazy. This is the greatest thing for the game. It got to the point, Cam, where Trevor Zegras wasn't even named an All-Star, but the NHL brought him in to the All-Star game to be a part of the skills competition. And they've got him doing videos and stuff like that on social media before the All-Star game in Vegas.
Yes. Pump them all up. No, that's fine. Be a man. Here's another thing, Andy. I'll give you another take. You could even chirp if you want. You could be Brad Marchand. You could do that. But you just don't get surprised if you're going to get fucking piss pumped and your eye socket cracked.
Well, here's the thing.
And you know what? If you're tough enough, if you're ballsy enough to be able to do both and do it and not want to have any controversy to get maybe even one of your guys on your team to get beat up, then don't show off and you can still get away. But if you want to show off and do that, then You're just asking for it. So, but then you have to step up and be like, I'll go you. But
well, here's the thing. Did Troy Terry make a mistake the way he skated into that scrum?
Yeah, you never want to skate into a scrum not knowing you're going to get punched in the face. That's on you. You know it's heated. You know the emotion. You're not dumb. You know the guy's like been fucking chirping from the bench. Like, you know all that stuff that we don't even hear that's happening. And so you go in there like, I just did it. The guy's going to punch you in the face. Protect yourself. God, my dad would have been so pissed at me. He'd been like,
I just think people are going after Tyson Nash a little bit too hard. Like,
of course they are.
In terms of,
do they have a Ukraine sign in their fucking profile?
Like he did something that really crossed the line. You may disagree with it, but you know what? That's his opinion from a guy who played in the league, who played on the edge, and was involved in a lot of scrums after whistles, created a lot of scrums after the whistles.
Yeah.
And this is just what he said. And there's a lot of people at home who are thinking the same thing. And it was a lopsided game, the game that got out of hand. And Jay Beagle, who,
showing off.
According to his fight card on hockeyfights.com, Cam, I may be wrong on this, but I looked at it a couple different times. I don't think he's had an NHL fight since he got knocked out by Aaron Asham.
Yeah.
I don't think he has. So it's not like Troy Terry went into, with his hands up high against a player that he knew had the ability to just beat the crap out of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he probably didn't know much about Jay Beagle in terms of fighting. There's not a whole lot of evidence. Like, he's had a couple of fights in the American League.
And he
had a fight in the preseason in the NHL, and his last fight in an NHL regular season game, according to hockeyfights.com, is the fight against Aaron Asham. We had Asham, by the way. We had him on with us. We asked him about that. He felt legitimately bad about it right after the game.
I know. Ashy, love you, buddy. Fucking cool ass guy. I'm telling you, all y'all Canadian boys, Ashy's a cool cat. Tougher than fuck too. But yeah, man, no, you're right, dude. He's not. It's just like, it's just kind of that. I told you, like just, if you're gonna do it, then expect a guy even like that. Like, shit.
Is it barbaric for Tyson Nash to say what he said? Because
dude, he messed his words up because he didn't mean to say the skill part. It's just like, if you're gonna talk shit, that's what he meant to say. But you're gonna skill it up. He meant like, and talk shit. You're going to try to do fancy things. Like, again, I'm always
it sounded kind of stupid the way he said it. You want to scale it up. Yeah, like, I mean.
Yeah, but listen, people know that he messed up, but they love to be the ones. But here's what, if you want to chirp Nasher for that, fine. You want to be like Virtue on back in Twitter, like, oh my God, today I'm going to say something important. People are going to, yeah, fine. I get that. But when you call for people's jobs, then fuck you. When you call for people's fucking jobs, when they mince the word, then fuck you, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. You want to chirp them, fine. And I said he fucked up. You don't say, we don't want skill. Hell yeah, you want skill. I want guys putting between their legs, doing crazy-ass things, waving. I want everybody to be a psycho. But you have to know that you can defend yourself doing it. And then once you defend yourself, then no one's going to do anything to you.
I was talking to Darren Pang about this morning, too. Like, when are goaltenders going to start defending it, too? Like, whether you're slashing him when he's coming across the side of the net and make sure they don't do it again, or you're standing up to make sure that they're not scoring on you. I mean, you got to be aware of that now as a goaltender in the NHL. Who's behind the net? Who has the puck? How much time they have? And are they capable of pulling that off?
Well, just get over it. Like, like you got to – or how about you talk to your defenseman like, hey, he's doing it again, like getting away. All you do is get in his way.
All I know is this, man. The mentality has changed. Could you imagine a player like that trying to do that when, like, Chris Pronger's on the
ice? Or Hatchie by.
Or Hatcher. It just wouldn't happen. So the game has changed, man. We love the skill. We love the young kids in terms of the enthusiasm and the excitement they bring to the game. At the same time, fighting's still relevant. It's still part of the game. We see fights all the time. And a lot of the same people who celebrate certain fights, then they get upset when maybe it's a little bit of a mismatch. But I didn't like the way Zegras handled himself after the game either. Some of the stuff that he said, he sounded a little bit immature for a guy who's in the National Hockey League. He's calling Troy Terry a superstar because he's got 32 goals. I'm like, hey, listen, Zegras, there's guys with like a 50 goals in the game right now. There's guys, I think there's 5 or 6 guys in the league that have more than 40 goals or something like that. So, and I wouldn't call him a superstar. He almost acted like Troy Terry is untouchable,
I know. Andy, you're 100% right on that. And then he kept looking like he's not going to say Jay Beagle's, but say his fucking name. Like, say his name. And then you're like, I can't say his name. And he's like, let me look around the corner. And he comes back. It's like, if you're going to just put a stance on it, just be like, fuck, like, don't Like, I don't want.
There's a lot of young guys. Listen, you think Robert Thomas or Jordan Kyrou, just to use a St. Louis example, if they go into a scrum like that with their hands up high, where you're making contact up high with the player that you're running into, you're obviously coming to your teammate's defense. You're going after the guy that just cross-checked your teammate. Your teammate's on the ice. He cross-checks him. You go right at the guy. You make a beeline.
Andy.
I don't know what Jay Beagle is supposed to think in that situation.
Andy.
Just supposed to just stand there.
You're inviting a fight at that point. That's what you want. Like,
what's the old saying? Don't mess with the bull, you get the horns, or whatever.
Well, yeah, Andy. Like, just how about
is that how it goes? Don't mess with
again.
You don't even know.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, sure. You don't get horns, but whatever. You don't want to fuck with bulls anyway. They'll fuck you up. But the point is, just don't. Oh, I never want anybody not to be like, I'm getting my cookie. Who cares? If they're that bad, take advantage of it.
I'm not going to defend. Don't chirp. I'm not going to defend what Beagle did either, because it did go too far. I mean, he's been around for a long time. He knows who the kid is. He knows he's not going to fight back, and he knows that he's got him way overmatched. He punched him 2 or 3 times. Just end it right there, Cam.
I agree with that too, Andy. You're right. Like, sometimes it's cool.
You don't need to beat the shit out of him.
Let me explain. Sometimes it's cool to grab a guy and ragdoll, hit him one time where he's okay, and be like, I'll fuck you up, and just let everybody know you do this shit. Like, that makes it
right.
Because you really you don't want to hurt these guys, but like, I'm your daddy kind of thing. Like, I'll ragdoll your little bitch ass, and everybody sees it, and then everybody's like, all right, I got you, man. Like, sometimes that's a cooler look too, but sometimes you need to punch a guy in the face.
I just think every team in the league, one thing that hasn't changed, in my opinion, I've talked to people about this before too around the league who run teams, executives. I've asked them about this. And I think everybody should have toughness on their roster and in the lineup.
Where are these kids at? Where are they at though? Like, is there look, Andy, if there is a kid that's 6'4" and he's pretty damn good, but he fucking hit like a truck, and he can make plays, he gets the puck out of his zone, and he's tougher and shit, and he's cool, and you could be your guy. Like, they would be on a team, I think. I just think there's not much to choose from.
Well, we're seeing a lot of guys fighting though in the game today. And all these guys, a lot of these guys can play too. So
they all can play.
Hey, listen,
we'll find one. Where are they at?
It's a learning experience for a lot of guys around the league, though. When you come into a scrum like that in a hostile situation, which is exactly what it is. It was a hostile situation. He just cross-checked the shit out of Trevor Zegras from behind. You come in, you just got to be careful, man. I wouldn't do that unless you're.
Well, you got to tell Ty that. Like, even Ty, like, you just got to know. Like, you go in, like, you just got to be able to protect yourself. Like, just know where you're at. Like, don't let somebody grab you in a weird spot, because somebody could fucking hurt you. I mean, just like having the puck with your head down when you start hitting, like, it could be the cleanest hit in the world and really fucking hurt you.
So I understand why people don't like it. That's out there. I don't think that Tyson Nash should be like in jeopardy of his job. You look at some of the other issues where guys lose their job, where they cross the line on certain issues and whatever. Like, he didn't do that.
Even most of the time on those.
His opinion, he said something, whatever, that he didn't take back either. What do you want him to do? You want him to come back and say, okay, I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. Like, it's his opinion. Everyone's going to have different opinions on this. I'm sure we'll be talking to Tyson Nash very soon.
You know the mob, Andy. It's a mob, and it's not many of them, but they're loud. How's that herpy doing on your lip, by the way? You all good?
Much better, dude.
God, that sucks. I've had. You
can't even see it.
I just noticed the other day. I noticed it because you had medicine on it, and we're not We're not editing this out.
Well, you just got to put a little.
But it looked fine on TV. You look good. Everything I've seen so far, didn't notice it.
Yeah,
because if I did. Yeah. I wouldn't text you. No, I would never text you during anything. You would text me during my.
Yes,
he texts me during my radio show and says, "This is so boring," and I'm like, God, it actually hurts. And I'm like, oh, help!
It hurts.
But anytime Andy fucks up on the TV when I'm watching at home, I want to do it, but my wife's like, "Don't you dare do that to him."
Oh yeah,
I don't.
All right, so we'll see how this whole situation plays out here moving forward. Hey, I want to get your take before we get into Adam Foote. Like I said, one of the best interviews we've had on in a long time. What's your take on this Yandle situation? You know, his all-time Ironman streak comes to an end. He just broke the all-time record held by Doug Jarvis. So he got that out of the way. Listen, I think the Philadelphia Flyers are in an interesting situation, Cam, because they need to look at certain players. Keith Yandle's not part of their future. They know that. Yandle knows that. He can't expect to be in the lineup every game. You've got other players who, on the outside, who want to get in there. They want to play, whether they're college free agents or whatever. And they probably look at it and they say, hey, I'm better than Keith Yandle anyway at this stage of his career. Yeah. I want to play. I mean, is the record that big a deal? Are we supposed to feel bad for Keith Yandle because he's a healthy scratch like so many other players over the years have been, you included? It is what it is. He went a long time. He got the record broken. I look at some of these records, Cam, like even Phil Kessel, whose wife was about to have a baby, and they had him dress so he could play one shift, dude. One shift.
It's goofy.
Just so he can keep his record alive. And then he hops on a private plane and heads back home to be there for the birth of his child. I mean, it's that important to these guys to play one shift. Should that even count as a game when you play one shift and then you're hopping on a plane, a private plane to go back home to see your baby getting delivered? Like,
no, it's stupid.
Man, I don't know. I think we make too much out of this, to be honest.
No, it's stupid. And he probably should have been sitting 2 years ago. I don't know the numbers. It's probably just like I'm throwing out bullshit, but it's a podcast. We got to, but like, yeah, they fucking kept that. They were talking about that in Florida, and everybody's like, oh no. I'm like, I don't know. How do you not get hurt anyway? Especially as a defenseman. Like, how the fuck?
Well, I think
I know.
He probably played through some injuries.
Gary
Younger, about it.
I know. It's just kind of weird.
I know.
Like, how the fuck does that not happen?
A couple years ago,
it actually kind of pisses me off because you're like, a couple
years ago,
are you not blocking shots?
I came to his defense, Cam, because he did have 45 points 2 years ago or whatever it was, and even before training camp began that season, they were telling him, "Hey, you're going to be a healthy scratch for the first game of the season." And he's coming off a year where he was like top 12, I think, in scoring for defensemen in the NHL. I don't think they had a reason for the streak to end at that time. And they basically they guilted the Florida Panthers into keeping him in the lineup, which is what they did. And they kept playing him. I came to Keith Yandle's defense at that time. I didn't like the way that it was being handled. I thought it was ballsy for Billy Zito, first-time GM, to come in and all of a sudden start doing that. But, this situation is completely different in my opinion. And Keith Yandle, I talk to people who are very close to Yandle, like he gets it. He understands it. In fact, Cam, he was probably hoping to get traded at the trade deadline. There were some teams who had a little bit of interest, whether they needed depth or they wanted a guy to come in and run the power play. And he even told those teams, hey, if you want me to sit out before the trade deadline and end my streak now so it doesn't become a distraction if I came to a new team, if I came and played for your team or whatever, and you had to make a decision where you were going to sit me out and everyone was going to make a big deal because my streak was going to end, I'll sit out now before the trade deadline to avoid it being a distraction. So don't feel bad for Keith Yandle. He broke the all-time record. It's probably going to get broken by Phil Kessel next season anyway. It is what it is. He got a lot of attention for it. It was a great run, but we all knew it had to end at some point.
It's an unbelievable record individually, but like if you're a team, like if you're catering to a record of that, it's like the worst case scenario, Like I'd rather have a guy try to get a break the OV record or something. You're like, yeah, but like that, you're like, I don't know. It's goofy. I don't know how the fuck you do that. Like, I don't know how that happens, especially as a defenseman. Like, you didn't block a shot weird. Nothing hit your pinky.
Well, he lost some teeth and stuff like that.
I know, but like, how do you not get hurt? Like, how the fuck?
He did. He played through some injury.
Andy. He didn't. How do you not really get fucked up? Like, how does that? It just doesn't make sense. And
Brad Boyes at one point had. Remember, Brad Boyes had played like 600-700 straight games.
He was hanging out.
In the
slot.
Well, that's.
And I love him. Great.
Phil Kessel. Do you see him really mix it up?
No, I don't like it.
Yeah,
I kind of want you to get hurt once in a while.
I'm with you there. I don't know how it happened.
Not even a sickness. Like he didn't get anything. What the fuck?
Everybody
what the fuck does that mean?
Well, here's my take on this, Cam. How the hell does he not get COVID? Like everybody else got COVID, and he just didn't get it. Well, I'm a little suspicious about that.
What you suspicious about? Of course, we're suspicious about every fuck thing about COVID. And all
he's
that
the only one that didn't get it.
Andy, look at the NFL. Remember they were doing, and all of a sudden the playoffs go, like it's just goofy. Everything about.
So I like Keith Yandle. People got way too overboard because his record ended, and like, how could they do this? Like, dude, he doesn't even care. Like, he probably cares. Don't get me wrong.
He made his money, dude. I don't feel so.
But what's he supposed to do if he can't play anymore? He can't play, dude. It happens to everybody. He's on a terrible team.
I think one of the kids scored too. That took a.
I know. The idea coming into the season was he was going to play with Braun, right? Justin Braun, and then they lost their top defenseman Ellis. Once he got injured, he was out for the year. They've had a ton of injuries actually to some pretty good players there with the Flyers. Decimated their season. Now Claude Giroux gets traded, whatever. But, once Ellis got hurt, now Braun had to play up the lineup and whatever, and you had some other guys coming in. Like, it is what it is.
Gritty's still their most, entertaining player right now.
Who's that?
Gritty.
I know, man. He is. There's no question about that.
He's the most popular player.
So anyway, that's the lesson. Don't feel bad for Keith Yandle. All right, let's get to Adam Foote, dude. Amazing player. Team Canada, 2 kids drafted in the first round, involved in all those incredible matchups and games with that rivalry with the Detroit Red Wings, dude. Just he has an opinion on some things. Like he was great.
Yeah, he was so cool.
We don't like to throw that word around too often.
Well, he's very very professional. Like, and we were talking like we always like kind of discuss. Andy and I always discuss like, everybody's different, man. And like Andy sometimes has to like reel me back and. Because I like to be like kind of I'm always loose with but with him, like I'm thinking he might just be, but he was really down to earth and cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like really,
I
cool.
wanted to feel it out for the first few minutes, and then we're like,
that.
"Damn, this dude's
I always
cool
listen to you on that too, but
yeah,
he was awesome, man. He really, really was. And I like talking about his kids are cool. Like fuck, he was just an awesome player. Huge nose. Damn, he got rocked a couple times bad. Some nasty injuries. Speaking of blocking shots and getting hurt, that guy, God. Like,
how do you think Adam Foote would handle Trevor Zegras trying to do the Michigan? Foote, baby.
He'd do something about it.
He'd have something to say about it.
And he's not a dirty guy, but like he's like, don't embarrass me. I'm proud. No. Come around that net. I'm fucking putting you down.
Yeah.
How about all y'all do that too? I like when they get away with it, but don't make it easy for them.
All right, the Cam Strick podcast is brought to you by Hair Club, Cam. You know that. You got the cul-de-sac in the back of your head, but not in the front because you went to Hair Club. You went to Hair Club, they did the front.
Oh, the front. We're going to have
the back done.
I can still do TV shit. I did a TV thing the other day. You couldn't even tell. I'm like, oh my God, I'm fucking sexy. And then I'm like, oh God, put your head up. Put your head up. Yeah. Well, you can if you look on the back. I just got to get that done now. Mm-hmm. I might have to go down to Florida. Get the back of my cul-de-sac done. Hang out with the boys down there and girls and chill. Yeah. Kate and I could go golf, stuff like that. Yeah. I might have to do that, Andy. You're not invited.
No, I am invited, and I probably will be down there.
Not at the golf course, though, because I can't have anybody else slow me down. I need to be with good players.
By the way, I'm getting asked to play golf right now, like left and right. Like,
oh, cool.
Like, yeah. So,
cool. You're gonna be very disappointing to people because your jokes are gonna run out by the second hole, and then like they're gonna be like, now what do you do?
I'm actually very fun to play golf with.
Clown. What are you going to do, clown? You keep shanking the ball. It's not that cute anymore.
Dude, why would you tell Chicklets, by the way, that I wouldn't be your partner for the sandbagger?
It's exactly what the fuck I just said.
You said I can come and hang out.
You can come and hang out.
I'll bring him. He'll be there, but
and you're lucky you got that. No. I'm not golfing with you. I don't golf with people that are worse than me. If you're worse than
you don't know if I'm worse than
Andy,
you.
You're not good.
I hear you're terrible. That's what I hear.
I'm not good either. I'm not, but you're not either. So it's like we can't have two dipshits in one group. You get that? You get how that works?
In 2 weeks.
You're not just going to anchor off my fucking jokes for the next 5 hours. You're not. Hey. You have to create your own thing because you're not good at golf. I can't have you in my group. I need to be around good players.
In 2 weeks.
Exactly why I said that.
I'm coming out and playing at your course.
I'll do that with you. But we can't do it in front of the camera. We're not in a tournament and stuff. Like I'm not doing that with because
Brody
even if we had a Cam Strick tournament, I'm not playing with you. You got to have your own separate thing.
No, I'll have my own.
Yeah, your own disappointment group where they're gonna be like, "What the fuck is this?" Trust me, I know the feeling.
I like playing the scrambles anyway. It doesn't even matter.
It does matter, Andy.
Yeah,
it does matter because you know what? There's holes that everybody fucks up. And like, Andy, let's get this one down. And you're like, okay. And you let me tell you this time I interviewed a guy. And you're like, go fuck yourself. That's how it goes.
All right. Well, listen, Hair Club.
Unless you bring party favors all the time.
Yeah. Well, I can bring.
I'm just saying.
I can bring a big fat discount for your first consultation at Hair Club too, and that means something, as you know. 800-279-7878, Hair Club and hairclub.com. Again, 800-279-7878. Give them a call or just go to our landing page, hairclub.com/Cam and Strick. Sign up for your first consultation right then and there, baby, and you're going to
easy peasy.
$250 off. Cam.
Well, just get in there and have them like look at your scalp and stuff and be like, here's what's going on. Yes. Here's our thing. Oh, you know, we have a payment plan. They make it easy for you. But like, oh, I'm a tough guy. I work construction. No, walk in that motherfucker. Everybody's sweet. Like they all get it. Like, cause everybody works there. Like they all know somebody in their family, something. So I'm telling you, they make you feel. I love going in there. I make a coffee. I do my shit. Like, what's up? Everybody's nice to you.
I love going in there too. They actually love it when I come in there, Cam. As a matter of fact, they love it. They love it.
I bet.
So again, 800-279-7878 for Hair Club. How about Car Shield, Cam? CarShield.com. 800-857-2481. I see all these commercials from Ice-T.
Yeah, I might need to be in a commercial again.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm telling you, if I could connect the hair, make me look sexy again, starve myself for
that's why you're not
3.5 weeks.
That's why you're not on the commercial.
Because of my cul-de-sac and the weight problem. And so if I could do that and then brighten my teeth, I'm telling you, I'm back in the game. And they're going to be like, what's up, Cam? I want you to look sexy and do your thing. I'm like, okay, I will. But right now I'm kind of like, I beat up looking,
Yeah.
So
look at my skin compared to yours. I look 10 years younger than you.
Well, I drink a lot, Andy.
Is that what it is?
I mean,
what does that do to your skin?
I've abused my body quite a bit. It's not like I'm just like, Kate worries about me. She wants me to live a long time so we could live happily together.
It's very important. It's very important.
I think
800-857-2481 for a Car Shield. Listen, something goes down in your car, Cam. You never know. Could be your engine, your computer goes out. You're really screwed.
Goddamn embarrassing is what it is.
Brakes, alternator.
A goddamn tire where you're like, I'm going down the highway 80 miles an hour. Oh, pothole out the fucking wazoo.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And you're like,
you better have that Car Shield, and you're protected. Car Shield and CarShield.com, man. We love our friends over there at Car Shield. I may bring Nick Hamilton to golf with me, by the way, when I come and golf out at St. Albans.
He's probably pretty goddamn. He probably gets invited to nice ass shit. He ain't gonna want to golf with you though, homie.
Yeah, he will.
No, he's gonna get sick of you by the second hole. He's gonna be like, what else are you bringing, clown boy? Like, are you gonna do? Can you dance? Like, are you singing? What do you?
I got a lot of options.
Like, what do you do though? Because you're not hitting it down the pipe. You're not making that fucking 10-footer for a birdie where everybody else made it. Damn. You're not hitting on the green on that par 3. You're gonna go and you're probably gonna be the guy looking for his balls. Like, I found one. They're like, let's go, motherfucker. We got 15 people behind. Look, I'm looking for stuff. Oh my god,
Cam, my putting game is
good.
You don't know that. You'll find out. I can't wait for you to eat those words.
I know.
Just like you do your loosey goosey. You got your loosey with you right now?
Of course I do. And I like it on planes, and I like it during my radio show, and I like it when I'm talking. So I don't have, because everybody knows whenever you have a fatty in, and they're like, oh, you're fun again. But we have that loosey in, baby. You get that craving, see a craving, and then you're not like, you don't have your speech impediment. Just like I did when I was a kid when I couldn't say R.
I should point out for Car Shield, the promo code is CAM. That'll save you 10%. It's embarrassing, but I just want to save you money. Loosey goosey though, Cam. Little Ty had his first baseball game.
He looked
this
cute
past weekend. First game.
Obsessed with him.
Kate is? Well, hey, listen.
He might be a goddamn wheel. He might. Don't be I hope you're not like never embarrass him if he brings girls to the house. And I'm telling the wife, I listen, she's going to have to do her own thing. But you, as a daddy, if his buddies are over, who gives a fuck? Like, get to clean that, fine. But if he ever has a girl over and you're like, never belittle him, never do that, pump his fucking, just be cool when he brings girls over. I'm just giving you that fucking advice right now.
Well,
I'm just letting you know my dad was
at baseball the other day. I put a tin of that loosey goosey in his back pocket at the baseball game. Okay?
And that could be frowned upon. And I don't know if you want to even say that. Like, I don't know if Lucy even wants you to do that. But those look kind of cool. Those little cute pants, too. Like, baseball uniforms for kids are cute as
oh, my God. I put a little loosey goosey.
And he had a fucking dinger. He had one of them dingers.
I know.
A dinger.
Little mango.
It's called a dinger. He hit a dinger because I saw him.
Little mango. Right there in the back pocket of that baseball uniform. He can look like a big leaguer.
Yeah. Give him that big league chew, man.
Oh, he loves that stuff.
That purple stick. Give me that purple stuff.
Oh, yeah. Loosey Goosey, though, man. Use that promo code Cam and Strick. We got a lot of people that are tuned on to Loosey Goosey, and for good reason, man. If you're smoking darts, Cam,
you look like a little boy.
Oh my
like you
God.
smoke darts, you're like, I automatically look at you like I could probably beat you up. I'm just saying,
right away.
I'm pretty
you think that right away?
Well, if a guy's smoking a dart, I'm like, my endurance is probably gonna be better than yours.
Yeah, probably
like you're probably not an athlete. Like I could get around you. You're not a wrestler. I could tell by you're smoking a dart and you just look like a little bitch boy.
Dude, stop doing it. Stop doing it. Loosey Goosey has all different flavors. They've got the gum. They've got the Loosey Goosey pouches, dude, which I love. This is the mango right here, mango baby,
mango,
and they also had the lozenges too. When would you use a lozenge? Probably on the plane, dude. That's very good to use at the office. In the office,
absolutely. No,
yeah.
Anywhere, dude. You just get used to doing one thing, and it's just like you cut out the other bad thing. You know, like you just find what you like and just get your rhythm going.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. I got to let the people know that for sure. Yeah, Loosey Goosey, baby. Lucy.co. Go there now. Use that promo code Cam and Strick. You'll never, ever regret that. As always, the Better Business Bureau, Cam. We love our friends over there at the BBB.
Oh, yes, we do. You want bed bugs? You want bed bugs? You got your girl, you got a date, and anytime, or your wife that you haven't been intimate with in a long time, and you need to go to a hotel to get that, because when you take your girl and you're away from the kids and stuff, and you're in a different setting, and you get romantic. Y'all know what I mean. Both you get there, and you got motherfucking bed bugs creeping around. You got problems, and she's probably gonna be like, "I'm never gonna get intimate with you again." Like shit like that will ruin you and ruin your weekend and probably ruin your relationship. Don't do it. Don't do it.
The hotel, like everywhere you go, you want to make sure you get those reviews. You go to the BBB for that. Consumers value trust, rating the importance of trusting a company when doing business. 8.6 out of 10. When consumers see the BBB accredited business seal, it tells them that this is a business they can trust, Cam.
Yeah, dude. Don't ruin your weekend. Just don't ruin your weekend with stuff. Just like look up
all right there.
One extra thing to do. Just like look it up like, oh, we're good.
Yep. So there you go. That's all you need to know. The Better Business Bureau, founded over 100 years ago by ethical businesses seeking voluntary self-regulation without the need for government regulation.
Yeah. Don't need that. Let's have more government regulation. They never mess up with things. No. Get on with yourself.
The Better Business Bureau, bbb.org. Check it out today. And last but of course not least, our friends over there at Bellman.com. Listen, man, I love the Bellman family. You talk about a company and a family you can trust, dude. Is there a more trusting company out there than Bellman?
They're just cool people. Like you feel comfortable going there. Like, some of these, God, it's just like some of these places are shady as fuck. Like they really are. Yes. But Bellman, like, the guy, like he's a hockey guy, like, but all the people working there, like you could actually talk to. Your wife can go there and shop. Some of these other goddamn places.
Spring is here, Cam. It's time to review your vehicle's condition and your needs. You know what that means. Winter weather, road conditions, puts a strain on your vehicle. And now it's time to get everything checked on to make sure you're up to date on all your maintenance. So there's no doubt about that. Take it in there. Let them check out your maintenance. Make an appointment at one of Bellman's 2 service centers for a complete vehicle and tire inspection, which you need, Cam. You need a tire inspection right now. And looking at your tires.
Maybe.
Maybe
I do.
Tire inspection. They'll get you in and out fast and your vehicle running its best and just in time for the warmer weather and longer road trips, which people will be taking. So if you need new tires for safe driving on wet spring roads, Bellman, I want to point this out, they also carry the best name brand tires in all price ranges. They got tires too, Ken.
No shit, Andy.
Or maybe it's time for a brand new vehicle. Order a new Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram and do it today.
Well, they got a lot of options, man. If you want to find something cool, you can find something cool. They got a lot of options.
Can I say this too? Don't worry about your credit. Bellman guarantees your credit approval. Guaranteed.
That's a big deal because people have been struggling that past couple of years. Right, their credit card bill, and all of a sudden you're like, your credit rating went down. Like, and you're like, fuck, what do I do? I can't get this. So they'll take care of you with that. They get it, man. They understand the vibe of what's going on. Oh, yeah. They know.
And what else don't you get?
Bunch of swinging motherfucking dicks. All y'all know what I'm talking about with that. Wife gets goddamn harassed walking in there.
Adam Foote.
I see him. Shut up, idiot boy. Anyway.
Adam Foote on this edition of the Cam Strick Podcast. The Cam Strick Podcast is brought to you by CarShield. You know, nothing more frustrating, Cam, than when that engine light comes on and you know right off the bat you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars to repair your vehicle. Call 800-857-2481. Mention the promo code CAM or visit carshield.com and use the code CAM to save 10%. Yeah. That's carshield.com. A deductible may apply. Save yourself money. Sign up and get your coverage now with carshield.com. Now to the interview.
Hello.
Footsie.
Yes. What are you guys doing?
What up, man?
Where are you at? You in Denver?
I'm in Denver now, yeah.
Is it snowing there? Are you looking at the mountains right now? Like, Are you up on a cliff somewhere?
Yeah, describe your place, man. It's my favorite, one of my favorite states.
Oh, Denver's awesome. I mean, it's getting, more and more people, I think, with what's going on in California. And they say it's cheaper to be here, but I mean, I can't believe, like everywhere, the real estate. But it's the mountains plus the 300. They average 300 sunny days a year, like that nice blue sky. And missing a little bit of water. I mean, growing up in Canada for me. But I like the sunny days. I'm spoiled now, and it's dry, and the golf ball goes a little bit further. So,
there you go. Hey, listen, just so you know, we just this is all we do. We just have conversation like this. We hit record and we just roll with it. So, I've got friends in town right now from Denver. We were talking about that last night. Like the real estate and the cost of living in Denver is just, it's like through the roof. It has been. It's like San Francisco or New York City right now.
Right. It's gone crazy. I mean, homes around us, even one we're building right now, and what a bad decision that is to build right now.
God, yeah.
It's been fun being 4 months behind already. You're like, what?
Adam, are you picking out the tile? Are you like going there with your wife and be like, I want this faucet. I don't want this faucet.
He's waiting on the wood, probably.
No, you know what? I just do the bar in the backyard.
That's there you go. Are you putting a rink in there? You putting a rink in there?
No, we've gone like more into closer to the city, like area called Washington Park. It's
that's where Stastny lives, and that's where my friends that are in town. That's where they live right now. Yeah. Scotty Mayfield just bought a house there too from the Islanders.
It's the blue collar part, right? The blue collar part.
Yeah. It's a great spot. I mean, you're close to Cherry Creek, the shopping area, and a lot of restaurants, and you're close to downtown, which I don't go a lot anymore. But it's a community feel, and we're excited about it.
Are you a hunter? I mean, do you go out and do you walk? Like, everybody's like in shape in Colorado.
And they walk their dogs.
Are you like a hunter? Like, are you an outdoorsy kind of dude?
No, you know what? I grew up, my dad was a hunter. I did a lot of fishing with him. I love to fish, but I don't enjoy fly fishing. I think just because I'm not good at it, but I haven't done it enough. But no, I'd rather, I think with me is the golf and being outside. I love it, but it's more sports, than it was hard for me to kill a pheasant or a partridge, so
a partridge. I love how that's such a Canadian word right there. You would kill a bird?
I'd kill a bird, but I can't do anything else. And a deer because they're overpopulated.
Oh, you can't do that.
Dude, you're gonna hit
no
with
way.
your car.
I could not kill a deer. No way.
No.
It's like a golden retriever,
I know.
No, it's not actually. Look, I'm not I'm not a hunter. I'm an animal lover, but they're overpopulated out the wazoo, and it's like driving to work every damn day. I almost kill 3 of them every single morning with my car. So they need to be populated.
There's places in Asia that are overpopulated, so they should just go around and start killing people.
Oh my God! Don't get Cam start talking. He'll start acting like he knows what's going on in Asia too. So
there you go.
Hey, listen. Who was it? Hayduk who had that rink in his house, whatever, in Denver. Like, Colorado hockey is like kind of taking off too. Like, were you a big part of that? And like, your kids ended up heading out west to play in the WHL. Like, how come they didn't stick around and play at Denver University, play college?
You know what? Well, yeah. So Hayduk had a rink, and what's funny is I built a house, and when my kids were just towards the end of my career, and we had our builder, and I put a rink, but an outdoor rink, and I had the chillers and the pipes, and I had an old ice house, and it was more, the kids had their stalls, but I was like 100-year-old barn wood, and we made it nice and old feel like you're in, up on the lake. But then my builder built Hedgie's house and Hedgie did the same size rink, but he enclosed his, which was pretty cool, for the kids. And, so and then with Colorado hockey, the Thunderbirds, we started with them, but now, got the Rough Riders and the Rampage. And there's been a lot of great players. Look at Troy Terry. I coached Troy. I mean, I coached him for a year. I had nothing to do with him. But his success.
Whenever I'm around somebody, even for a month, I take credit for it. Take credit for that.
The hockey has gotten better, but it's gotten better. And if you look at Dallas and Phoenix and LA and Anaheim, even San Jose's coming around. I think it's just because a lot of guys also have stayed there, and then they're involved in the coaching, and we're all competitive. So we try to get the kids from, Utah, come over here. And then you got the guy from Dallas trying to get them like, what are you doing? But, and then my kids with Denver University, like, it started with my older one. He had a choice. He could choose not whatever school, but some schools were after him, and Denver was one of them. And he went to a couple games, and it was his decision. And we told him the pros and cons of both. And we lived 4 miles from the university, so we wanted him to stay here. But he went up to Kelowna, and then Nolan got drafted by Kelowna, and he just followed. And I think they thought it would be a good path for them. And I think it was, but I'm sure both would have worked. I mean, the NCAA is pretty. It's not a bad spot either,
Kelowna's pretty cool, though, Andy.
Oh, my God.
It's a beautiful...
I'm planning my I was just talking to Braden Shen's dad. He told me about this, this route you can drive. He said it's the most beautiful drive in the world. He says you go through, your kids will love the Enchanted Forest. You go from Banff to Kelowna.
Yeah, dude.
Tell me about that. Have you ever done that drive, Adam, from Banff to Kelowna?
I have. I mean, it's pretty awesome. It's worth doing it. And I mean, obviously not in the bad weather, of course, but, it's a beautiful drive. And Banff's one of my favorite spots too. And, you go right into Kelowna, and it's that 90-mile lake, and it's Kelowna's smack in the middle, and you have Vernon, up north, right?
Doesn't get that
cover
cold
kids
there,
from, well, you know what? Osoyoos is about, it's past Penticton. It's probably, I'm guessing. I mean, I'm not from British Columbia, but I think it's about, 50 miles, maybe longer, but maybe further. But it's the only part of Canada that actually had a desert, right? And of that desert, when it first was there, I think it's only like 25 or 30%. Still, they call it a desert. It's just the weather, right? And I mean, you can't even tell when you go through. It doesn't look like a desert, but it's the weather, and that's why. With the weather so perfect in Kelowna, where you get it's second to Napa and wineries, it's got I think 160 wineries in that area.
Dude.
So
yeah, man, that's why we got our asses kicked in the Memorial Cup up there, because we had too much shit to do.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff to do there, man. They probably had a good time playing juniors there.
Oh yeah, well, it's a good junior town for sure. They like going back in the summer, just the lakes. Lots to do for the guys, and the golf's great. So yeah, it's a beautiful spot. But it reminds me of Vail and the Aspen area. We're lucky here. We're in the mountains, right? Yeah, so
I know you are lucky. I mean,
you got it good.
You can't
blocked a lot of
you
shots.
Can't pick where you go. Hey, who would have known? Adam, when you're in Quebec playing in the NHL, probably loving it there too. Like so much interest in whatever, with all the Canadian, interest in hockey and whatever. All of a sudden, you find yourself in Denver, and look where you are now. What was your thought when you went from Quebec to Denver? Were you that excited? Were you disappointed you were leaving? Where was your mindset?
We had a young team, and we heard some rumblings about it, but when it happened, we were a little bit in shock. I mean, I had 4 years in Quebec, and I just loved it. I mean, we were starting to get good. The fans were awesome. The Quebec City is a beautiful place, and we had a lot of fun. And I was excited as well to go to Denver. I mean, I was in Elway. I was a Bronco fan, and my dad was a Minnesota Viking fan, kind of like the Leafs. They just can't find a way to win, the Vikes. But and I was always a big Elway fan and Bronco fan, the Mile High, watching them play. You catch 1 or 2 games, there's a blizzard going on in Denver, right?
Yeah, man.
And and we came here, and we were just getting good, and then we get Patrick Waugh, and we win the first year we're here, and it's been home. I think when you win in a city and you get the opportunity, it's you feel a part of the city, closer. I've been here so long now, so it's a great spot.
Yeah, when that whole Lindros thing went down, I mean, were you like, oh my God, we're loaded here?
I can't believe you said that, because it's crazy. I got drafted to Sault Ste. Marie in the OHL, and a couple years in the second round, a couple years later, Lindros goes first. I believe it was first overall.
Yeah, and
he doesn't come, and we get all these players, and they won the Memorial Cup the year before. We beat them, but they were stacked, right? And Lindros was younger, and then we beat them, and we won the OHL. And then I get drafted second round to Quebec, and a couple of years later, Lindros goes first overall, and it happened again. We get all these players. Thanks for Forsberg. Thanks for Ricci. All these great players, right? And then we, in my opinion, like Forsberg's top 3 player ever to play the game. I mean, that's my opinion, but he was the only player that I played with that every single game I played with him, he wowed the bench. Like, you look down, guys are looking at you, did you see that? And you start laughing. Like, he did things. He did things people couldn't do. And so the Lindros trade was good for us, good for me twice. So,
oh my God! Oh, listen, do you guys win the Stanley Cup? Do you think, if you don't make that trade? Like, I say, you had Lindros and you didn't have Forsberg and all these other guys. Like, is that what put you guys over the top? Like, I'm sure you thought about that.
You know what? I don't think we might have won it later. Like, but it would have taken more time to get the right pieces, right? Like, I mean, we got so many pieces, and then we had picks, and Adam Denmarsh came out of that deal. Yeah. Thibault comes out, and then he gets traded. Ron Extol was there at the beginning, but Mike Ricci, big part of it. There's so many guys. Chris Simon, oh my God, what a fighter!
Jesus, down the pipe, lefty down the pipe.
Oh yeah, I go to him. I go, "Are you like straight left?" He goes, "I'm ambidextrous." I go, "Which one do you prefer?" He goes, "I prefer left." I go, "Oh boy!"
With that long hair, God, he was scary looking, man.
And he was good too, man. Yeah, he could play too.
Damn,
great hands. He had awesome hands. He could play the game for sure.
Okay, listen, you said Forsberg top 3 all time. Yeah. I'm curious to know who else you put in that category, because you played with Gretzky and some international stuff and whatever.
You got to put Gretzky. You got to put Gretzky there, right?
Yeah.
And I'm too young. Like, I love Bobby Orr, and I watched him, and I know he changed the game. I mean, his name's got to be right there. And you got Mario Lemieux. I didn't think Mario was as good until I played with him. And then I'm like, oh my God, like, how is a man that big, that graceful, that smart, sweet hands, and he competes, right? Like, he's fun to be around. I'll tell you, he was good there.
Mario?
Yeah.
God, he seems so stoic and like quiet.
Well, you know what? It's so funny. I hope he doesn't get mad at this, but
he won't.
We were at the Olympics in Salt Lake, and we had, believe it or not, I think there was two TV rooms, and our room had a TV, and I'm room with Blakey, and so there's like 3 rooms and then the common area, right? And so there's like 6 of us in a room, and every night Mario was sitting in the same spot on the couch, like you're talking about, like quiet and his legs crossed, watching the Olympics, and all the guys were there, and he'd laugh when guys would make him laugh, and he wouldn't tell too many stories, but he was always smiling, and he was always there, and I always got a chuckle out of it. And then the night before the gold medal game, I came out and everyone was nervous, and you could just tell. And I don't know who said it. Someone said, "Does anyone want McDonald's?" And I said, "I'll go get it." And then Mario goes, "I'll take it. One of those." The junior kid cheeseburgers, Footer. I'll take 2 of those and fries. And then guys are giving me their order, and we go get the McDonald's. And I came back, and I'm thinking, imagine Canada or the media could see us before gold medal game eating McDonald's.
Kids, child's pack McDonald's.
What was Pronger saying? I'll take all of it.
Yeah,
I'm not buying though.
Yeah. I'm not buying. Yeah. Exactly. Buying. I don't have $2.
Where's my wallet?
You guys know Prongs well?
Really well. Man. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was my partner in the first one, but I laughed at him. I go, the poor trainer, Jesus Christ, Prongs, get up, the tape's right there. Let's go. Get your own tape.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he used to torture Andy like no other.
Oh, yeah. It's so funny. So funny. In a good way. In a good way. And Al McInnes, man, we know him too. Like, and Al's got a personality people really don't see either, you know, behind the scenes. Like, you really get to know him, you kind of see that.
He's
like,
cool.
And he was kind of towards the end of his career, but did you guys have a chance to interact with each other?
Oh, yeah. Like, I've called Al a couple times for advice because his son went through it, right? Mine are a couple of years younger than him, but great guy. He had me on the bus, and I was always, he'd always be at the back, and he's the funniest guy on the bus. I mean, just dry, sarcastic, and he would make me laugh. Like him and Pronger, actually, he was giving it to Pronger a lot, believe it or not. Like, it was because they played together, I guess, but he was just a fun guy, and to be around, real smart, was a real wise guy. Like he's like, again, I think I called him 2 or 3 times about youth hockey and then asking him questions. He's pretty knowledgeable. And I think, you know, St. Louis is pretty smart keeping him around as a consultant, you know, or I'm sure he's got a higher role than that, but great man.
He was a full-time youth hockey coach who also worked in blues management, for years. And now he's traveling and he's like scouting, like all of a sudden he's out watching college games. He works hard now, you know, like, but for years, obviously was so involved with the youth hockey scene here and had a huge role in a lot of kids like moving on and having success.
Yeah, these kids dominate down in St. Louis now, man.
I know.
Coming out
my God. My first year coaching here, Brownie's team had Keller and his son and Frederick, and my first game I ever coached, we go there, we lost, I think 6-0 to them. We didn't touch the puck, and I'm like, oh my God, what do we get in here? Like they're so good. But they've got over 20 guys that played in the NHL actually coaching the youth program over time.
Oh yeah,
man.
So
I
it's
know.
pretty cool.
And it was funny watching those guys back in the day. You know, they never lost. Like Brownie and Keller and those. They had Joseph Wool, who was in goal. Right. You know, their backup goaltenders playing in the American League right now with the Pittsburgh
Keller
organization.
Though last night?
Oh yeah,
no.
You see Keller get hurt last night. He went into the boards pretty hard. He broke his femur.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Jesus. So he's out for the year.
He's having a good season.
Oh, I know.
Really good season.
Yeah.
Hey, did your kids, I mean, because they're first-round picks and everything, I know they went the WHL route, but, like, could they have gone to the program? Like, was that something you had interest in doing for them?
You know, Cal, they were interested in Cal, and my feelings were Cal was, they said he was I think a 5 on their team as a defenseman. I had him more of like a 6, 7, 8, you know?
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure. And Cal just said to me, Dad, I don't want to go. Like Cal was born here, but my wife and I were born in Canada. And he said, I'm not going. And we went to the first one. I cannot believe how bad he played, but it wouldn't have mattered. Like it was not a tryout, but he broke his arm and he just didn't want to do it. But he got invited back and he didn't want to go. And then with Nolan was a forward and had a pretty good shot at the time. And they wanted him. And there was a new guy running. I forget his name, but he sat me down. I said, listen, I'm just telling you this. I don't mind Nolan going to the program, or I didn't mind Cal going to the program, but I have a belief if you're not a top 4 or 5 forward and a top 3D, the program could be tough on you as well. There's great kids there that don't get those reps on a power play, you know, which might not play at a power play in the NHL if you get a chance to make the NHL, but the reps at a young age helps you feel the puck and helps you with your hands and things like that. So I was really worried about it. But Nolan didn't want to go as well. He followed in his brother's footsteps, and they just wanted to, play for Canada. And I said, guys, well, you got to get your citizenship. So they got it, and they were so fired up. And I said, it's going to be hard to make a Canadian team. It's hard to make a U.S. team. And they go, we're Canadian, Dad. We don't want to play for the U.S. And I was proud that, I didn't tell them to play for Canada, but I was proud. They're Canadian blood, so that's what they wanted to do.
Hey, man, if you can put that jersey on, man, I mean,
hell yeah. Well, either one,
especially with your being their dad, they grew up watching, because I've seen it, like, with Al's son played for Team USA in the World Juniors. He went down that route. Yeah. Jeff Brown's son played, World Juniors for Team USA and stuff.
Why'd you name him Cal? That's my grandfather's name, who was a shit kicker, by the way, and I love that name. How'd you come up with that?
I'm not a baseball fan. I love the playoffs. I love sports and any, I mean, I like baseball, but there's too many games and it's kind of boring until playoffs post. But
we know.
I just liked Cal Ripken, and I liked his name, and I liked the way he carried himself. He was professional, and it was just, I don't know. And my wife loved the name as well, and yeah. So
I like it, man.
There you go.
we just love that. I think it's a strong name. It's Cal N, but he gets Cal a lot. But
That's cool.
and believe it or not, Ted Nolan was my coach in junior. My first roommate was Owen Nolan, who was crazy Irish guy.
Oh,
and then and then Nolan Ryan, look at him pitch, right? And I'm saying I'm not a baseball fan.
yeah, you're not a baseball
like the
fan,
tough guys,
but
though.
you got Nolan Ryan and Cal Ripken in the family there. We had Ted Nolan, by the way, on the podcast. Great conversation with him, and did you like playing for him back in the day? I mean, you guys have a good relationship?
He was my junior coach. We had a great relationship. He was like, I remember being at his son's wedding years later, right? Like, and I said, "Hey, Teddy, like, I had Hitchcock at the time, and to talk about structure and systems and things like that." And I said, "What was our system? What was our breakup? What we do?" And he goes, "We just went back and got the puck, and we just got it out." Like, and I think back then there wasn't as much as that, but he was more of Teddy was a player's coach. Like, we wanted to play for him. We loved him. I mean, he'd come to the back of the bus on long road trips and tell us stories, and once in a while, and we respected him. He was good for us. I mean, loved being around him, loved playing for him. I didn't play for him at the NHL level, but junior, he was good for me. It was good for our team. We all needed a guy like that. He was good to play for.
That cold ass rink up there in Sioux. Oh God!
Right,
pulling up to that damn place. Didn't they open the two doors where the bus would be, and then they keep them open, and you try to get dressed and you'd be so goddamn cold. Who else was on that team in juniors with you?
Bob Bugner, Bobby Bugner. Well, Troy Millette was a year older than me. He had a good, I think he started the NHL like right at a junior, and he might have needed another year, but I think he had another year left, and he went. And Brad Tiley, I don't know if you guys know his name, but who else was there that you guys would know? I should know this. Denny Lambert played a little bit. Tough guy.
Damn right. He coached a little bit. Didn't he coach in the O2?
Didn't Millette coach? He coached with you in Kelowna, or is that his brother or something like that?
Oh, no, they're not related.
Not related at all. Okay, same last name.
But Chris, Millette up there. He was drafted by Philadelphia, I believe. The Flyers. He was a tough guy. That guy up there, real tough, big man.
Hey, right. So listen, what happened in Kelowna? Like you became the head coach. Like, were your kids on the team at the time, and then you got let go at the end of the year? Which I don't even think they ever ended up getting to the playoffs. I think they were going to host the Memorial Cup that year, right?
Yeah.
But with COVID, everything shut down. But like they let you go. Like end of the year, your son's on the team. He's the captain of the team. Like how odd was this for you? Like break this down for us.
No. Listen, you guys are the first ones ever to ask me that, and I've kind of just taken the high road and not even had any discussion about it. I mean, what do you say, right? Like, I could tell you what I think, but I don't want to disrespect the Kelowna Rockets. Is an amazing organization, like what they've done over the years, and they were awesome to my boys. And it was just there was an agreement that was to get me to go there, which I did not want to go there simply because I felt like there was an unwritten rule. I felt bad for Smitty, though he was going to be let go, and it wasn't his fault. The team wasn't good enough, And when I got called, I said no a couple times, and I said, okay, we have to do this, and this, and in my opinion, it didn't happen, and we were pretty banged up, like real banged up, and I think people started listening to the birds chirp, and even if we weren't banged up, we didn't have enough, and we looked at it differently. And you know what? It's just different in juniors. It's their team, and they've done it their way for a long, long time and had success, right? So it was just his decision, and it just is what it is. You know what I mean? Yeah. I can go into details, but I think it's the wrong thing to do. Like I said, he treated me well. He treated my kids well, it was probably the wrong thing for me to do right out of the gate anyway. I really struggled with doing it. So just because I thought it was, coaching your kid was crazy, but, yeah, but I learned a lot, and I learned a lot about myself, and learned a lot about, junior hockey and how hard it is. But also, I wish I could go back and coach again. I wish I could go back and coach the youth again. I would do things different. Like I would stick more to skill, right?
Yeah, like what? Like what do you
systems and things like that.
Okay.
I had a belief in Colorado. I said, if we can get our youth team from, we're in the 20s to top 10. We actually beat the last game of the year. We beat Brownie's team with Keller and them. I said, guys, I designated a guy on every line. I said, you follow Keller around. I don't care where he goes. You follow him around. I don't care if you go offside. And we managed to beat him. But I was all about more systems, because my belief was I know they needed more skill, but I believed if we got to top 10, there was more scouts and more of our kids would get scholarships. So, I knew we weren't a team that was going to win it all unless we got lucky, but the year we beat Brownie's team last game, it wasn't a nationals. It wasn't that year, but we only beat them because we had fun and we had a good enough team, but we played a system. And I wish going back, I didn't do that as much. And I focused more on the skills and the skating and things like that. But, we got a lot of kids that got scholarships, so it is what it is, right? Yeah.
Adam, my son's a 6U right now. We're hiring. You want to come coach the team?
I'm sure he does, Andy.
You're more than welcome. Al's got an extra room in his house. You can live there. Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Prongs will charge you rent.
Right,
Prongs will charge me rent. Oh my God.
Hey, but okay, so but coaching, like, how do they even convince you to do that? But I'm curious, like, coaching your own kid. And plus, you're like, you played over 1,100 games. Your jersey's retired. You're an Olympic gold medalist, like 2-time Stanley Cup winner, and you're getting fired, like, at the junior level. Like, that had to be, like, a little strange for you to go through, because you probably never been through anything like that before. Yeah. You always had so much success in hockey. But the challenge of coaching your kid, like, was that uncomfortable? Did you embrace that? What was it like for your kid as well?
Well, at that level, it was more uncomfortable, and I knew right away. Well, I knew a number of reasons right away why it was the wrong decision, but I thought I talked to, 4 NHL friends, and they said, yeah, it's great. You love coaching, you love to teach, and no one, like, I don't even think I would have done it if he wasn't one of the top. He wasn't the top player, but he was one of the top players in the team. Yeah. And then I remember the owner coming in saying to me after 10 games, and he was showing me the ice time, and Nolan's ice time was down from the previous coach by a couple minutes a game. And he said, you can't do that. And I said, I know, but it's so hard. It's so hard to, throw him on the power play, or when you need a goal, throw him out again. You know what I mean? So it was so difficult, but we learned a lot. I learned so much about, like, because it was probably the wrong thing to do. And I know it was, and I felt guilty, but a lot of people say to me, no, it wasn't the wrong thing. I helped kids. I helped them learn the game, learn how to play the right way, throw my experience on them. The whole thing about me, the letting go part in that, hey, you just said it. I mean, it speaks for itself. So I don't have to go, have to go shout for myself and prove to anyone who I am and, what I can do. So that part doesn't worry me, because I think people know the person that did it well too, right? So the hockey world knows.
Oh my God, youth hockey's so crazy,
it's
Cam.
Crazy.
You know that there's NHL players that played over 900 games that I know that are, like, getting fired from coaching, like, little kids.
Yeah.
It's
even coaching your kid, though, it's like a game within a game. Like every move you make, you're always like, should I do that because he's my kid?
Right.
I mean, you're just
it's in your head. Yeah.
Every damn
Well,
thing.
you know what? I was calling my buddies, and I said, like, I remember when Pierre Lacroix brought his son in, and Pierre's such a family man, such an awesome guy, and Eric's a great guy too. But I mean, I remember how hard it was on Eric, and I mean, obviously it's a different level, right? You've got a GM and you're in the NHL, but I just remember how hard it was, and I struggled with one. The coach before me was an NHL player. That there's just, like, I'm like, when he asked me, I said absolutely not, and I said, because of that. And I said, because your team's not good and because I don't think you're going to do it. And he wanted me to change the culture. I go, I can't change the culture if you guys, running it aren't going to change it. So I gave him one of those. Right. And there was one guy, I'm not going to tell you who it is, that coaches in the NHL now. And he said, I talked to 4 NHL friends and then one guy, and he's the only guy that said, don't do it.
A coach, yeah. Well,
and he said scrutiny. He goes, you're screwed. Whatever, which you're gonna get screwed. And I go,
yeah.
He was so right though.
That sounds like Hitch. That sounds like Hitch.
No.
I'm just kidding. Hey, but I've heard you say you liked Hitch though, right? I mean, and listen, we know Hitch extremely well. Like and he's been on with us and whatever. That you were so established at that point in your career, right? I mean, you probably may have known him from like Hockey Canada stuff, but when you went to Columbus. Oh, yeah. Captain of Columbus and all that, like at that stage of your career, what was it like working with him?
Well, I got to work with him before that on, some of the Canadian teams and things like that. But he knows how to beat a team. He knows the strategy, like how to adjust and without confusing the guys. And he really understands that part. I mean, playing for him, I was his captain and I don't know why, but he likes to have a lot of meetings, you know what I mean? And it's like, I remember absolutely sometimes just running out of the building and I'm almost in my car and the trainer to me, there I goes, Footy, Hitch once. I go, bleep. You know what I mean? And I go in there and sit there and through time, I can't tell you the stories on the podcast, but through time, I'm
sure you can. Yeah, you can. We do whatever we want on here. You should hear some of the stories that are told.
You guys are luring me in.
No rules, Footy. Come on now. Foot with an E. You are Footy. Is that how it's pronounced, by the way?
It's Foote.
It depends where. There you are. There you go. No, I was just through time. I just said to Hitch, I go, God, Hitch, you have nothing to do. Like I've got a family at home. I got to get out of here. Like, come on. Because he's just overanalyzing and things like that. But I remember, I'll tell you one story. It's the only time I got kicked off the ice in my NHL career, and Hitch was the one that did it. He kicked, and he kind of had fun with it. But we're doing the center ice breakouts, and my group's I'm first up, and he was dumping in. He yells D to center, wing, and then other side. So. All right, here we go. Boom, we go. And he dumps the puck in and it sticks over his head, right? Because he can't bend his knees too well. But and the puck's going so slow, I grab the puck and I go D to D before, or my partner and I go be in front of the net. And he D to D center and he whistles down, Jesus Christ, footer, D to center behind the net. And I go, well, put some mustard on it. And that's what I said to him. And he dumps it in, and I turn my stick, and I'm skating beside the puck, and I start sweeping it like I'm curling. and I'm like, hurry! And then he goes, get off! And so it was awesome.
That's so funny.
Yeah, the boys love that.
Oh yeah, I remember he'd stand on the blue line during drills, and guys would just rifle pucks, rim them around the glass, and he'd be getting. Well, you fucking stop!
You fucking stop!
Oh yeah, but when the Blues hired, I remember I asked Brett Hull, I'm like, hey, what should we expect here in St. Louis? Like, what kind of coach he is? He's like, well, he's gonna teach the triple chip. You chip it over the blue line, the red line, and the other blue line.
And Holly loved that, didn't he?
Oh yeah.
Oh, he loved that.
Oh my God. So, hey, listen, I read that. Everybody loves the Colorado Detroit rivalry. It's unbelievable. Certainly one of the best in the history of the game. We loved it. Yeah. Did you really? You just went to Detroit for that event, didn't you? With Lemieux and McCarty. What was that like?
It was cool. I mean, my kid was playing, so it was perfect timing. And the guy that invited us, we've done a couple things with him in the past. He's a great guy, Joe Morgan. There, who he's done this. He brings in a lot of different athletes, but. Yeah, it was great. I kind of feel like, I don't know if the NHL control over it, but it's too bad that day the Avs weren't playing there. But it was cool. We see Darren, and I know Darren. He hangs out with Scott Parker, and he's been up in Colorado a few times. And
Scotty Parker, yeah.
Those guys are good friends. And it was good to see Pepe. And it was a great event to talk about it. And we just love, and we were laughing how it came to a point where the fans and media loved it more than the players, So like they think you hate everyone. We're like, nah, actually we don't. Like, there's some guys you play against. I think we played 6 playoff series against them, and 4 7-game series, you're playing against the same guy every night. You know how it goes, and you're gonna bump into each other, or someone's gonna think it's a cheap hit or a little bit from behind, and here it goes, right? So it was just a build up, but it was a fun ride for both teams back then. I think it was a huge rivalry in all sports, to be honest with you.
It's great for the game, but you say that no one hates each other, but look, those guys hated Pappy, dude. We had him on the pod too, but they hated him. Like what?
Hated Patty Waugh?
No, Pepe said Lemieux.
Oh, Pepe.
Yeah, they hated Claude Lemieux. I mean, come on, man. Like at the time, like Claude was hardcore. Like he would do nasty ass things. Like and again,
well, you know what?
Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, the game Pepe did that. Kozlov got me right. Like and smacked my head in the glass, and
that's right.
I had 20 stitches, but I mean Draper had way more. Like I think he had a couple breaks in his cheekbone and orbital bone, which is awful, but you don't want to see that happen to anybody. But it was one of those tit for tats. It was like, that's just the way it was. I mean, and then, that brought us, believe it or not, that game, and that brought us together and we won. And then a year later, I think when McCarty went after Lemieux there, I think it helped Detroit. I mean, because I think there were 7 fights that game, right? And that's what Scotty Bowman wanted. He wanted that because I think he knew we had the edge early the year before. And so that year we weren't paying attention to Yzerman and Fedorov. We were going after, McCarty's line and, the players that played less of a role, but we made it more of a role and we lost. And then the following year we were like, okay, we've got to, we had a deal where we took a penalty on 3 guys on their team. There was a fine. Like we didn't want to take a minor penalty, a roughing penalty. We didn't want to make them a part of the series. We wanted to focus on their skilled players, their scorers, and go after them. And then we won again. So it was interesting times. Like, and I think like the whole Waugh thing and Waugh came out of his net. I just think Patty. I think he wanted to fight. I mean, when Hextall and Brodeur scored, then Waugh wanted to go. I remember one year we were so good, and Waugh's calling for it at the end of the game, and instead of going D to D in its own word and whipping it back to him, and it got to be such a, too much that guys are just backpedaling the defenseman in their team, picking off he's trying to go for the empty net, right? So. And then he got his goal, and then he stopped doing that. And then all of a sudden, I think he wanted to fight. Yeah.
No, it's funny. Isn't it weird though that the game after when it all went down, like what started was Forsberg and was it Larionov and Forsberg? It
was Larionov.
Larionov and Forsberg are kind of like wrestling around, and then McCarty gets loose and sucker punches, but he doesn't get kicked out of the game. And he goes out there, and they say that's just one of the most entertaining games ever.
I think McCarty scored in overtime.
He scored in overtime to win like 6-5.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he would have got a 20-gamer for that nowadays.
Right. Oh, it was just different. I mean,
crazy.
That was the third. Was it the third or fourth game that season? But they came to our barn twice, but Pepe was hurt, and then I don't know if it was the third game we played them. And they didn't do it on our ice. That's the thing, right? Like there was everything always happened there. It seemed, but
Mike Keane called them homers. He said these guys are a bunch of homers. They won't do it in our building. They only do it here.
They just for sure. Mike Keane was could be the best leader I ever played with. I mean, you get the Waugh trade and he came over, but Keener was the captain of Montreal, and man, he just held guys accountable in his way and. He was great to play for. He was tough too for a smaller guy.
Who did he fight? He went to
Holmstrom. He went Holmstrom. Remember, Holmstrom's on that ice and he got a couple in, and then Keener just hit him with 4 or 5 and right, and then he switched to left and just pumped him.
He's a lefty, man.
My God. Yeah. Hey, I think I read as somebody asked you, if you who do you hate? Like, who's the one guy for the Red Wings you still want to punch in the face? And you said Draper. Like, you still have
No. You know what? This is so funny. You guys brought this up. So in the outdoor game, we're all together in the Detroit, staying in a hotel. We're staying at the hotel. We went down and we had we're all sitting around having drinks and things like that. And Draper didn't, I don't think he made it that day. And we're getting interviews, and it was a local broadcast radio station. The guy, he's a funny guy, and he keeps, at the end of the interview, you must hate someone still. Who would you hit in the face? And I said, no, this game's going to have no tie. This isn't, an alumni game. There's going to be no tie downs. It's all good. We're all past it. He's like, he didn't stop. He asked me 3 times. And I go, well, I don't know. I guess Draper, And the reason I said Draper is because he's just that guy, right? Like apparently they were holding practices for an alumni game, and we were laughing like, really? We didn't even practice once, boys. We're going to be screwed here.
Practices.
But the next day, I'm in the hotel. I think Eisman was there and Joey Koser, and Drapes comes up to me. He goes, I want to talk to you. I'm like, I didn't realize it went national. Like, the guy, the radio station. And I go, what's up? And Koster's laughing. And he goes, you can't say, I can't believe you said that. You want to punch me in the face? I go, Drapes, I don't. I go, you don't know how it happened. I was joking around, like I don't want to punch in the face. And,
he was serious.
I should have said, now I want to, but no, but he was a little upset at first, and he got old. He's like, oh, okay. He goes, I said, hey, they were teasing, they were joking. So, he was fine after that.
Didn't he get into it with Gary Roberts and another? And we had Gary Roberts on with us too, man. Like I think they got into it in a different alumni game. It's funny you said practicing because the Blues before the Winter Classic against Chicago back in 2017, 16, whatever it was, they did have a practice. And they played against the U18 AAA team, whatever, in a little scrimmage. And I was coaching with the U18s, and I played in that game, and Chaser elbowed me in the head. I think I had a concussion. I still have a concussion right now.
It was the funniest. Oh, footsie. It was the funniest thing in the world. Chaser leveled him, and Andy lost his mind, and then challenged him, and we're all like,
Cam was playing.
We're like, settle down, Andy. He lost his eyes rolled back in the back of his head.
Oh yeah.
Well, this Chase, I got to meet Chase, and when I was young, like one of my first couple of years, he was playing in Hartford, the Whalers, before they went to Carolina, and I remember Mackenzie tapping my shin pads, and he the game was out of hand, and he goes, "Hey, let's go." And I go, "Absolutely not! We're not going." You know what I mean? He's a monster. And then I'm like, "All right, it looks like this is going to be the way it is." So I'm like, I got the jump on Chaser, and I didn't win the fight or anything, but we're in the penalty box. He goes, "We're going again." I go, "Oh crap, here we go!" And it happened again, and then every time we played St. Louis, the rest of Chaser's career, when he played me, he'd be sitting on morning skate with his feet crossed with a coffee, and every time I skated by, he goes, "I'm going to get you tonight, Foot. I'm going to get you tonight, Foot." And I mean, he did it. If we played 20 times, he did it 20 times. You know what I mean?
Really?
And I got a chance to talk to him about it, and he started laughing. He goes, I do that to everyone.
Well, where it is, Twister used to sit on the visitor's bench, on the other bench.
I played with Twister. Man, he was scary how hard he could hit.
You guys played together in Quebec, right? Is that where you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Hey, what about
scared Andy one time?
Oh my God! We went to Twister's house to do the podcast, and he did a little crazy.
He did a little crazy.
It was funny though. You and Shanahan though, you guys butted heads several times and had some historic fights, and it seemed like at the end of every fight, sometimes nowadays they pat each other on the back and they say great job. You guys would be talking at the end of every fight, I'm watching some of those videos, man. In doing my world-class research for this interview, I'm I wish I knew. I wish I was able to listen to what you guys are saying to each other at the end of some of these fights, man. Did it get really hostile between the two of you?
Yeah, it did. I mean, it's funny, we had the same agent, and we're from the Toronto area, and he was the guy, I played against him. He was all the time. I mean, we were matched up, so we had a lot of run-ins and, over time. And he was the guy too that was going to stick up for his teammates. I mean, and then through time, at first we didn't really have it, but as it grew, we got more and more, didn't like each other, I guess, when we played. And then we played on some Canadian teams together, and we were great. And then I remember playing in Nagano with them, and then we fought again. But it wasn't because we didn't like each other as much as it was we were just going against each other. And I would I would definitely take it to the line as far as the corners, and he's never going to let that be okay. And it just happened. We butted heads a lot, and he gave me a stick. We were all giving each other sticks in Nagano, and he said wrote on my stick that from him, he goes, "Hey, Footer, great playing with you. See you in the corners." And he says, "P.S. Quit saying mean things to me."
You know what?
My buddies were like, "What'd you say? What'd you say?" And I go, "Well,
I talk with my stick in my body.
Yeah. Listen, the Kozlov hit from behind, that's one of the dirtiest hits I've ever seen, by the way, how he just shoved your face into the glass. And the image of the blood just, gushing out of your forehead. Do you have a picture of that hanging up in your house? Like, is that hanging up in the house anywhere or no?
No. I have a picture, but you know what's the craziest part about that is I think he was just reacting. Like, I'd go in the corner fast. I think he was tired of it, right? And he's just reacting to not get hit. And it was a little cheap, but whatever. But the worst part about that was I'll never forget, I was down and then I was up and I took my helmet off and Gregson's sitting right beside me, the ref, and I loved him. He was a good ref, but there was no call. There was no.
Oh, really?
There was no call on the play, and no penalty. And I'm thinking, when I got asked if there would have been a penalty on that play, I bet you Lemieux doesn't do that hit on Draper. And that's my thought. Like, and the other thing is, they have held Lemieux accountable for that hit, which and I regret. We went after Kozlov that game, and I always tried to hit Kozlov, but he's hard to hit, right? When you're running around trying to get a guy, it's harder to get the guy. The guy knows. Yeah. And I didn't want to hurt the guy. Maybe a little.
Sure you did. Of course you did. Of course you did. But you better have.
I wonder. No one talked about that hit, when that was really what started it.
We're talking about it now. Call. Yeah, we're talking about it now.
If the ref makes the right call, maybe we don't have the rivalry as big as it is.
Well, what would happen then?
Yeah, I know.
On your behalf.
I know. But like when Patrick was coming down the ice, like when do you get vision that he's coming and then Shanahan's going to meet him head on, and then all of a sudden, like if you watch the video, I can't even see you, and then like they go down to the ice and you're right there. And like you're right in the middle of it, that you and Shanahan start squaring off and fighting. Like, just walk us through that moment. Like, can you close your eyes and visualize it right away?
Well, I remember Forsberg, and when what happens when two guys get wrapped up like that, everyone comes together, and I had arm's length McCarty's jersey, and then I remember a ref coming towards us, and he just spun away from me. And Shanahan was coming towards me on the other side, and he did his deal with Lemieux, jumped Lemieux, and then so Shannon and I are just holding on to each other, watching this go on. Like, I don't know which way to watch, like Forsberg and Larianoff or Lemieux, and then all of a sudden Shanahan saw it before I did, and he just took off from me, and we weren't even into it. We're just kind of holding. And then he's taking off towards Watt, and then I'm behind him about 5 feet, and they jump at each other. I don't know why Patty jumped. He shouldn't have jumped, and I think he hurt his shoulder, and they spun. And as they're jumping, I'm getting a hold of the back of his jersey, but then Vernon's on the back of my jersey. Yeah. And we go down, spinning down, and I think Watt got jolted from that hit. We spun, and then Shannon and I grabbed each other, and those two fought. And then Dvorsky came to Shannon. I said, "You guys fight right now. You're kicked out of the rest of the game." And I think it was end of the first period. So Shannon and I fought the next period right away because, you just have to. Yeah. Something like that happens. It was just part of the game. And I just couldn't believe how much was going on. I couldn't believe Watt came into the net and with Vernon, but it was crazy. And then I think there was 3 or 4 more fights, or there was Denmarsh fought a couple times.
Look at how many. If you look at the score sheet, man, how long did that game last? It seemed like it was like a 5-hour college football game or something.
Yeah, it was crazy. You know what? I wish we didn't. Both teams had to stick up for each other, but I just wish we didn't. That was a time where it turned, where we paid way too much attention for the rest of the season on a guy like McCarty, right? It's like, I respect him and I respect his role. You need guys like that. But I'm saying for us to win, we should have focused more on stopping their better, their scores like Yzerman, Fedorov,
Yeah,
you
don't
know?
mind them. They don't have enough skill.
Yeah.
You're okay. Worry about McCarty. Hey, let me ask you though, like being a defenseman, you gotta go back and get that damn puck every single time. Who scared you? Like I shouldn't say scared, but like who's the guy that hit you? Because look, guys could want to fight you. There's big tough guys, but if you don't fight, I'm not gonna do anything to you. But the hitters will get you, especially as a defenseman. Who scared you?
Well, I mean, you know who's the strong guys, right? Like, I was scared in junior when we played the Kitchener Rangers one year with the Borg and all those guys. My God, we didn't know how to go back and get the puck. We didn't have the reps, and I couldn't believe going in that building. Like every guy ran you, you know. If you pause, you're kind of screwed. But you learn going back for pucks how to do it, and I knew when the big guy was on me, right? So then I would go to the puck but stop and then lean back on him, or
reverse hit.
Not necessarily reverse hit, because when they're bigger than you and stronger, and that usually doesn't work when they're ready for it. But you just get used to going back for them. I mean, but guys, Bertuzzi's strength, he never really ran me, but getting tangled up with him, he was hard to knock off pucks, and obviously Lindros's strength, and then I could not believe Weimer, how strong he was.
Jason?
Up in Cal. Oh, my God. Wow, was he just I couldn't move him. And but then Lucic, I couldn't believe it when I played. I was towards the end of my career, but I could not believe how strong that guy was. And so that's probably those types of guys, if they get you the wrong way, you're in trouble. So you have to be aware, but yeah, you just learn how to do it. You just figure it out.
You brought up Bertuzzi, man. I remember him hitting McInnes in the playoffs in that seamless glass in Vancouver, and he did the same thing to Jackman, I think, the next year. But we've had him on. Listen, what do you remember about that whole Steve Moore incident? Because I know obviously you're playing for it, and that's such a crazy time as well. Like, I don't think you were on the ice for it, were you?
No, but Moore fought. Moore was known as a college kid back at the time, right? And Moore was like freaky strong, like he was just on his skates, and when he hit a guy, you could tell it was a big hit, right? And Naslund had his head down slightly, and Moore hit him, and I didn't even think it was that dirty, but the following game he fought Cook, and then we go up to Vancouver, and I think it's Sakic's best. He's from the area, and he loves playing there, and he plays his best hockey, and he was on fire. And I think we were up by a lot. I don't know if it was 8-something or 7-something. And the game got the game was out of hand, and I think our coach, made a mistake putting Moore on the ice, and Bertuzzi was revved up, and Morsey felt him on his back, and I think Morsey should have turned around and at least grab the guy if he didn't, protect himself a little bit. It seemed like Bertuzzi had him for a while, and then when he hit him, Blake and I were like, oh my God, like he's out, something's wrong. We knew right away. It was an awful feeling to see, and but Bert's just like, he's so strong. I get it how it happened, right? Like it just seemed like Moore was not braced enough for it, And when he went down, I remember Mike Keane then takes his visor off his helmet on the bench. Like as the stretchers, I look at Keener, I'm going, oh God, it's going to be one of these ones again. Like what's going to happen next? But I think because of the hit was the result of the hit was, we knew he was in trouble. And the game, it didn't get out of hand. Everyone was like, it shows you're human, right? Like, and when you see a guy get hurt like that, it actually shut the game down. And I don't think anyone fought after that or even was running guys. We just wanted to get it over with and get off the ice.
Peter Worrell on that team? Was Big Pete?
He was. He was on the bench.
Was he trying to do something?
He was on the bench.
And did you like him?
He may have. Yeah, I liked Pete. Yeah, he made me laugh. He was a funny guy. I remember Blakey and I, one of the first road trips were in Vancouver, and Blakey loved to be a prankster, and we were roommates at the time, and he took our trainer's key, and he said, he was laughing. He goes, Footer, come on, we're going to go scare Carnsey. So we're in the elevator getting ready, and Korean were all on the elevator with us, and they're like, what are you doing? And Paul Korea, we used to tease him, man. We used to tape him up. Like we this guy's too funny, but we go, we're going to scare Carnsey. so Blakey gets in the room and they go, "Can we come?" Yeah, you can come. And they're so fired up. They've never done this before. And Blakey goes, "You two go in the closet," and we could barely fit with Morel, right? So Korea's crouched down. Morel's like up and under the hangers and leaned over Korea, and I'm dying laughing. And Blakey goes, "Footy, get in the shower." So I'm in the shower, and Blakey's behind the door. And Kearnsey comes in with his bathroom bag, whatever, drug bag or whatever it is. And Blakey just, "What are you doing?" And he just starts jumping on the spot. And I open the curtain real fast and I go, "What are you doing?" And he just kept screaming, the trainer. And then Korea and Morel couldn't get out of the closet. They couldn't open the door. They were stuck there. Oh, it was so funny. And they didn't have any part of the joke, but God, yeah, we're always a good guy. And so was Korea, but well, God, we'd love to tease Korea.
Oh, who didn't? I played with him too, man. Like his warm up with the band. Did he do the bands? Like he'd have his hockey bag, but then he'd have a different bag for all his warm up gear that the trainers would have to take care of. Although he did take care of the trainers afterwards, but his warm up routine was so damn funny. He got beat by Big Walt so bad. Oh God.
Oh my God. Oh. Well, how about when he chooses steak? You go out for dinner with him, and I think he's got to chew it a certain amount of times so it digests properly.
Oh my.
And I mean, you got Blake. He was saying, I think Blakey's done before. He's had 2 bites. And we used to tease him, look at him, and he would just sit there and chew, and we'd all be done our dinner, and we'd be laughing, teasing him, and he wouldn't care. And he just chew every single one. I don't know what it was, 26 times or something. I don't know. But
he chews like a cow eating grass is what he did.
Yeah,
It's so funny. Paulie, we all loved him. He was so sweet to everybody, including myself, and I'll never forget that. But our rookie party here, he doesn't drink. But I think Big Walt gave him that cranberry juice and put a little vodka in there. And by the end of the night, oh, my God.
Oh,
he was all over the place. And it was the funniest goddamn thing. I think Big Walt probably can go to jail for that. But on the other hand, it was the funniest goddamn thing in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Hey,
it's so easy guy to tease.
Oh, yeah. Hey, listen, you've been great. We got a couple more things and we'll let you go. But, tell me something about Joe Sack. Like he seems like no one ever really... Like, he doesn't, let his guard down. Like, you never really get to know who the real Joe Sakic is. We've had so many of your former teammates and people who have played with him and against him, obviously, too. But, what should we know about Joe? I mean, we all know he was a great player, but how great of a teammate was he? Like, were you guys – how close are you two?
Well, Joe was a guy that – the best part about Joe was he when you have one of your best players, he played on the road. He played in the tough areas. And he went to the corner. He did the right thing. He defended, and he showed up. He showed up every night, which was amazing, his consistency. But Joel was that type of player that, whatever he decided to do, he was going to be great at it, and he was going to work at it. And like golf, he's an amazing golfer. Like whatever he touches, he just goes for it. And he golfs and he plays hockey, and now look at what he's done with the Avalanche. He decided it was tough after 2 years, thinking that they were closer, and then he decided, okay, we've got to go the other way and get the draft picks. And it was a tough. And then you take a beating for a couple of years here and there, right? And he did the right thing, and now he's got a contender. And Joe's just the type of guy. He's real. It's got to be the perfect spot, the perfect place for him to go out and have fun. He's got to feel safe. And I think he was just a superstar, and, he's living in that glass bowl. And I think he was just real guarded. He's just that type of guy. But I remember we try to get him out and go for a drink or go for a beer on the road and stuff like that. And if you get him in the right spot, he's a funny man. He likes to laugh. Likes to have a good time. He's got a good sense of humor, and he likes to jab guys. He likes to, every New Year's resolution, we've been sitting on the plane. The next time we're on the plane, I go, "So what is it, Joe?" He goes, I can't jab a guy. I got to stop teasing guys, And he would do it in such a funny way, but he'd laugh at his jokes. He'd tease a guy and laugh so hard, oh my God. But he was a good teammate, of course, and one of the best. And I got a chance to play with him a long, long time, and we wouldn't have won without him and Forsberg playing in the hard areas. You know, your best
yeah,
players have to be your best players.
When you look back, though, on your career, though, just in terms all your accomplishments, though, I mean, like the 2-time Stanley Cups, and you mentioned all these great, legendary players you played with, but then you had a chance to do it with Team Canada, too. I mean, you just look at that roster, all the Hall of Famers and whatever, like, what stands out first? Is it the cups and then the gold medal, like, or is it kind of all in one? Just in terms of everything you did.
It's kind of all like, in my opinion, obviously you have to have the right pieces to win. You need all the pieces, but I believe hockey's like football. You need a quarterback, you need a goalie, you need pitching. If you don't have that, it doesn't matter what else you have. So we're lucky to have that goaltending, right? And as far as, I thought the cups were it, right? And then once we won the gold, and then traveling back to Canada and seeing fans in Vancouver or Calgary after a game, they came up to you, think they're going to talk about the game you just played, and they're talking about the gold medal for years after. And I'm like, wow, I didn't realize how huge that was, right? And for the country. So, but I would say I don't know which one I think that it's equal. It's just part of the package. I get lucky to be on some good teams, and it's hard to win that cup. It's a grind, but when you do, it's the best.
How popular were you guys in Colorado? You say Joe was in a glass bubble. Like, could any of you guys walk around downtown? I mean, like, I feel like
I could. I never scored.
No shit. But like, right? I mean, like you're not really in a huge bubble there, right? In Colorado, especially then.
Well, Joe's like, it's not just Denver, but like in Canada, it's crazy, obviously. But I mean, he's a superstar, and everyone knows Joe everywhere. So it's gotta. He's like an Elway, you know what I mean? Like, it's got to be hard. Not everywhere you go, there's Joe Sakic, right? So, but the fans in Denver were awesome, and we were their first championship, and I remember talking to Elway about it. He was a big hockey fan, and we saw Elway come down, McNichols, to watch our playoff game, and we were just so pumped up, we couldn't believe it. There's John Elway, he was into it, and he said it gave the Broncos that extra push, right? And they won a couple, right? So what a time in the city. The Rockies, when we went there, are really good with Larry Walker and Gonzalez and all those, Bichette, I believe it was Bichette, but they're a really good team, and the Broncos were good. They won, we won. It was just a different time where the city just had this energy to the city. It was fun times.
Hey, what was it like when Ray Bourque came on board? Like, was everybody like super pumped up to get him? Like, he got a lot of attention, and it was kind of all about like Ray, even like, when the cup was handed to him and whatever. Like, how quick was he accepted right away? I imagine he was, just because of who he was.
Everything was incredible until the second day we won the cup, and we were all ready to go downtown and party with it. And it was gone to Boston. That's the only thing that was wrong. But
the second day he took the
I don't know.
It was
the second or third day. The cup was in Boston, and and we're like, what? Where is it? Get it back here. You know what I mean? And Ray was amazing. He came in. One, I couldn't believe how good he was. Like, to play with him every night. Like, oh my God, was he a good hockey player? And he competes, and it was so funny. He was there, the first guy there every day, ready to go. And he'd be like, hey, you good? Yeah, I'm good. Every day. Like, you good? And he'd work hard, and he was just fun. He was a happy guy, and it was fun to be around. But yeah, there was a lot of hype for Ray. But when Joe gave him the Stanley Cup there, when we won, pass it on to him, I just looked up in the crowd, and you could see people crying. It was so cool. Wow. Like, you could feel this buzz that I've never felt in an arena before. And like the goosebump, like, it was unreal. And it was awesome. I mean, we embraced him, and he loved playing with us, and we wanted to help him get one, right? So we were all on board because we liked him, and we liked the story. And like I said, the only thing that sucked was he took the cup too fast to Boston.
That would have pissed me off. God. That would have pissed me off.
Hey, we just had Keith Primo on. I'm glad I remembered this. Didn't you grow up with him? Like, I heard that you grew up. We didn't even know that when we talked to Keith. But like, are you guys like super close buddies, like growing up, or?
So Preem's played for Markham, and I played for Whitby, which is 45 minutes. It's a suburb of Toronto, and Markham was a pretty good team. We were a pretty good team, and we used to go at it. And Brad May was on that team and Markham as well.
Wow.
But anyway, then Preems moved to Whitby, and his dad started coaching our team. And he was a great player. His skating kept getting better and better and better, but he had the hands, and he competed, right? Preems, he just competed, and he had a nasty side of him. He didn't mind getting involved. And we were good friends, and we got a chance to win at that level. We were double A, but we were going in. We were a good team. We had a lot of good coaching growing up there, and we could compete with the AAA teams, so that was nice. But Preems, it was nice to see him make it, because everyone talked about his skating all the time, and he kept working on it, and then he ends up with a career like that. So he's a good man, and he was funny. He was funny to be around, boy. And his brother too, Wayne, who played a little bit in the NHL.
Yeah, listen, there's so much we could get into. I mean, you played in the '96 World Cup against that Team USA team. You're there when Gretzky gets passed over for the shootout, which, by the way, we had Mark Crawford on. We asked him about that.
What did he say? What did Mark say?
And we had Bobby Clark on with us, and we had Gretzky on the podcast too. And he kind of took the high road. Crawford,
what did Crawford say, though?
I'm trying to remember what he said. I think he said, if he had to do it all over again, he would have put 99 in there. Like, okay, I could have done that, Adam. What were you guys thinking?
You know what? I just remember, I didn't understand, and I'm not a goal scorer, but my job is to stop guys from scoring. And what I saw, when they asked, Ray Bourque already had the tape off his shin pads when he didn't think he was shooting, right? Mm-hmm. And I think their theory, someone was afraid of Hasek, right? So their theory is, how do we score on him? Well, Ray hits all those targets in the All-Star game. That's all I can think about. Why is Ray going? You know what I mean? I love Ray, but I'm sure he's not had a lot of breakaways, in his career. I was in shock. And then, when Lindros came to the bench and asked a couple of the guys what to do, I didn't feel good about that. I was like, what? He seemed real nervous, and that's, it's a tough stage for a young guy, and then Gretzky sitting there, and, even Gretzky not getting the C on that team really.
Bobby Clark said he regrets that one too. They gave it to Lindros.
Oh my God. You know what? It bothered me, and I was young, and I just, nothing against Eric. I think Eric probably would have wanted Wayne to have it. If Wayne's there, Wayne should have the C. We all want him to have it. The country want him to have it. He deserves it. He's earned it. I was in shock. And when he didn't shoot, I could not believe it. I think that's, honestly, that shootout, I think we were so numb and stunned of the whole, not just the shootout, but losing that way. And then we lose to the Finns, right? Mm-hmm. And we don't get the bronze. I just think, I don't know. I can't understand it to this day, that why Wayne, he would have found a way. Oh, yeah. It's Wayne Gretzky. But in my that's what I thought. But
how could you not think that?
You and many others thought that.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not think that way?
And we had Big E on too, by the way.
It'd be like this year. It'd be like this year if they would have went to the Olympics. Like, McDavid wasn't going to be the captain. Okay, Sidney Crosby was going to have the C on his jersey, because that's who wears.
That's the way it should be. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. Yeah, it puts a different dynamic in the room, and maybe the coaches thought, okay, it's. Exactly. The young guys are going to win us this thing, but no, I mean, you don't need to go into. It's so hard to win at that level. You don't need to start the wrong way, So
hey, I got to let you talk about your kids before we leave, though, because one's playing in Tampa Bay, the other one's in the New Jersey organization, both first-round picks. I know we touched on them earlier in the interview, but just. And Primo's son, obviously he's a goalie playing in the league. Like, it's kind of crazy to see you guys raise these kids that make it to the NHL, but just for you and your wife to kind of see them, on this path that you were on years ago, like, what's it been like for you personally to kind of watch them, fulfill a dream and play in the NHL?
Yeah, I mean, with them, we just raised them and said, if you don't want to play hockey, that's fine. You got to pick what you love to do, because whatever you love to do and you want to be good at it, you just got to put the reps and time in, whether it's sports or anything, play an instrument. And, it's just the work ethic, right, is what we wanted to instill. But seeing them there and go that route, there's a part of me that didn't want them. Like, Nolan's had a couple shoulder surgeries already. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you know they're going to get hurt. You know they're going to have to fight. You know, and that was the hard part. And then I think in the transition of like Cal's a tall kid, but his core was so weak and he has big feet. And then turning back to the puck, like, you know, there's times of their development and me being a player as a dad, and that's when I had to call Al, and you know, Al just said Footer, because of what we did, it seems like it doesn't matter what we say to them, they don't think we're proud. And I'm like, wow, yeah, you're right. Like, and I go, how do you get through it? And he's like, well, you just can't talk about it until they're ready to talk about it. And he gave me the best advice, because, you know, it's hard sitting there when you're watching what's coming and what's coming next, and know they're gonna, you know, they might get sat the next game, and then when they call you and they're down, and you know why they did, but you can't tell them, you know what I mean, until they're ready. You know, I have this series with teenage kids, or when they're out drinking and things like that, and they're your kids, you don't have a conversation with them until Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's been hard just watching them go through the tough times, but at the same time, you're so proud, and they got a chance to play each a game in the NHL. It's pretty cool, but I still not sure it hit me yet that they're actually there. It's, you know, it seems surreal. So, but yeah, I'm proud of them, and it's a hard thing, as you guys know, to do. So they're going to keep on trying.
Well, we're going to tell Coop to give him more ice time. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we'll put our foot down too over here.
You know what? He said these last 3 games, he something popped. Like, you know, he had a goal and assists +3 in Chicago. Then he played the next 7 games. Gojin came back, which, you know, a veteran player came back. And what I was so proud was, then he comes back and plays his best 3 games ever.
There it is.
And,
right there.
You know, right there it is. And that's what I was trying to tell my younger son, where he was in that spot where wondering why he got taken off that position on the power play, or who am I playing with? And I said, I'm like going, buddy, I wish I could be the goalie on the power play. You know, right. Like, I didn't get a chance to play on a lot of that. And he wasn't complaining he wasn't on it, but I said, look at what your brother's going through. Like, no one can, once you get your confidence, no one can take it away. That's what I always tell them. Don't let anyone take it from you.
Wow.
And no matter what happens to you, you're going to get sat. You're going to miss a game. I go, don't try to overthink it. And I'm just proud of Cal, because he, like, having a game like that, and then not playing for 7, and then coming back, and Coop was great with him. Coop said, keep your head up. It's got nothing to do with you. And that really helped Cal as a young kid, hearing his coach say that, right?
Yeah.
So,
and that Bogey's a good dude too, and he's a wily veteran, and they got to get him
unreal guy.
Yeah, and he's gonna help.
Yeah,
he's in a good spot down there, man. Just hanging with those guys.
Yeah,
that's a cool.
I met Bogosian. I met Bogosian at Truba's wedding last summer, and what a character!
Great dude, man.
He was awesome, man. Yeah.
No wonder
awesome.
they win down there. They got the talent. They got the cool cats. Everybody's cool in the locker room. So he's in a good spot, man. You should feel proud.
Yeah,
big time.
Yeah, yes, he loves his teammates. He's lucky. He's lucky to be around them.
Right, he is.
Listen, man,
you're the man, dude.
You've been great, dude. We wanted to get you on, Foote, and honestly, it's been great talking to you. Great stuff. People are going to love this, and all the best to you and your kids too, man. So, and good luck with that house too. Okay.
Yeah. Well, thanks, guys.
You'll be all right.
See you guys.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Take care, Adam. You got it, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. The Cam Strick Podcast is brought to you by Bellman and Bellman.com. BEHLMANN.com. Get out there to Detroit, Missouri. Check it out. On one side, you got the Buick, the GMC. Options for everybody. Then right across the street, you got the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Again, find something that works for you and get yourself a new set of wheels in time for the winter. All right, that was Foote.
Great guy.
How cool is he?
I didn't know he was gonna be that cool, because I thought, like, some guys are like too like, because Andy thought maybe he kind of thought that he might be like that because he's just fucking professional as shit. But he talked to him, I'm like, yeah, I know you, man. You're cool. Like, I played with a guy. You're that good old Canadian boy who I love. Would have been fucking awesome to me if I was a young kid. That's how I look at it, Andy. Like, I just know if I was a young kid playing, if he was the veteran, he would have been cool to me. I
just remember those teams coming into town. I'm a young reporter. You're going into the Colorado room or whatever, or even when he was with Columbus.
Yeah.
Remember what it felt like the Blues played Columbus like every other day?
Yeah,
Like they played Columbus 65 times a year, and then the rest of the
Nash
league.
dog was on that mug. Big Ricky Nash.
know.
At least he was sexy as shit.
So he was always just kind of like, he just had a presence to him. Adam Foote. You're like, okay, you know.
I judge people on like, you don't need to be rah-rah, but I can just tell he's a cool guy that if I was a young kid talking to him, he'd make me feel good.
Cam,
and I know that sounds corny.
Think about it. All those great players that they had in Colorado, and we all know like Forsberg and Sakic and all that. By the way, he called Forsberg one of the top 3 players ever in the history of the game, ever.
Well, he got banged up. His ankles got fucked up because he reverse hit cats, Andy. That's why Forsberg was so badass. Like we go back to the Keith Yandle thing. It's like when you're a hardcore son bitch, you're gonna get hurt. Mm-hmm. And like sometimes you're so
you think Adam Foote or Chris Pronger could play 989 consecutive games?
Why do you think I'm saying that?
I know what you're saying.
Well, I'm not talking to you.
It's almost like the Lady Bing. Like you go into the season being like, I am going to win the Lady Bing this year.
I know.
And nobody's going to stop me.
I want guys I like when guys go so hard for 12 to 14 years, like so fucking hard. Like I'm fucking like Dougie Gill, like warrior, like battle. And like you're hurt, but God, if I put you in, you're going to block a shot with your face. You're going to hit guys. But they get banged up. Like I'd rather have that than I'm going to go like this, that, do, boo, boo, boo. You just, I don't know.
It missed the playoffs.
I'm like, I'm here. But I'm not hurt.
But I'm breaking the record.
But
I'm not going to chirp Keith Yandle, man. I like him a lot. He was cool when he came out with us, too.
Yeah.
Kessel, though, man, like, I don't know. Like, it's just, some guys
showed up in the playoffs.
Ryan O'Reilly is the same type of guy who's in the mix, in the battle, dude. He never misses unless he has to miss. Like, he's missed some games this year because of COVID.
He's been invisible for some games this year, too. Big time.
He's been good as of late.
Yes, he has. But there was a stretch where he was not.
He was.
Because he was losing draws. And if he's not, like, taking games over when he plays. Like, he's a grinding dude. So if he's not, like, a step ahead of the curve when it comes to, like,
but
the
like,
pace
you look at how he's played this last road trip or whatever.
He looked really good. Actually, a lot of guys.
Actually, I asked Berube about that this morning. Like, really pumped his tires. Said his leadership, how vocal he's been, has been like extraordinary.
Well, because they went through a weird phase.
He pumped Tarasenko's tires too.
Well, Vladdy's getting into fucking hitting cats. He's fucking doing shit. But for a while there, they weren't doing shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I remember being wasted one night and be like, I fucking chirped him.
Yeah.
And
well,
like,
you got a little emotional.
Well, because these are babies, dude. Like, look, you want the Blues affect us. Like, how many times do I have to say it? So, yeah, you do. You do get emotional with stuff. Like, we want them to. We know everybody in the system up and down. It's like
way too emotional.
It's like full of shit. And I'm like, oh, boy. But I don't do that often. I'm not a fanboy shit. I don't care that much. But sometimes it's like the one thing in sports really that I care about are the Blues.
But this is a dangerous week. We're not going to make it all about the Blues, but this is a dangerous week because they got these teams coming in that are out of the playoffs. And those teams give the Blues fits. Well, Arizona, Seattle, Islanders. Like,
go show your big, go be a big dick and be like, fuck you. Like, what do you want? Like, no, like, you know how it is. Even in hockey in general, sometimes like the attitude's like walking in like, I'm going to motherfuck all you up, little boys. You ain't, we're getting ready here. We're going to treat this, and hopefully the refs let them go. Go play mean in your face, like fuck everything. Like you need to start getting your attitude adjusted to getting into this fucking mix. Because there's some bad boy teams that are like, fuck you. And they got some bad boys on there, and they got some guys with confidence. So you can't just be like, this is a preseason game. No, you have to be like, no, we own you.
Let's go. Last thing for you. What do you think of
like a pump up speech, by the way?
Oh, you did yesterday. Cam gave Ty. It was very like mellow, very calm.
Well, so I bring the heat for the podcast, but sometimes with Ty, like I don't want to scare him. Like I've
said, he had games Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. He was good Friday. He wasn't very good Saturday, and he was good Sunday.
Well, I don't want to. So I just had to say, go after the puck. Just go. Yes. Go. Don't worry about it. Just go get it. Go take the puck. Take it to the net. Like happy.
How did you know that that's what he needed to be told? Like how did you?
Because that's what every kid needs to be told. Because every kid's the same at that age. It's the aggressive kids that start figuring it out, and their skill set starts coming up.
Mm-hmm. I was having that discussion with.
You were the kid picking flowers. You were the kid picking flowers.
No,
I'm just
no. Cam,
No,
you
you
see
weren't.
me get
I know.
angry.
I know you. I know. I chirp Andy. You guys know I pump Andy up too. But he does brag. He's braggadocious.
Braggadocious.
And
I
gotta
have
put
to
his
be with
fucking
you. I
ass
have to
down
be.
once in a while. But no, Andy, you were aggressive as shit. You tried to fight me, Jacer, Babcock.
I didn't try to fight Plager.
Which don't even. If you had done that, you would have looked so god. You try to fight Chaser, people are like, yeah, we get that. You try to fight me because I kind of hit you hard. Some guys were like, that's kind of weird, but it's all good.
Yeah.
But Bobby, you look like a goddamn idiot. You earned that so goddamn bad. And sometimes that pops up in my Facebook feed, and I watch it and I smirk and laugh.
Greatest thing that ever happened to me.
I love that man so much. Oh, Lord. He
Greatest
put
thing that
you
ever
down,
happened.
You little fucking God. And he stepped over you like motherfucking God. It makes me like cry thinking about it.
Hey, real quick though, what do you think of like Adam Foote? Like he had like this battle. I mean, one of the most epic brawls ever with McCarty and all these guys. Yeah. Lemieux obviously involved on the Colorado side, and then they all get together now and like make money and do like autograph signings. And do events.
Well, why wouldn't you?
I know.
Do you have a grudge with people? Like, I don't have a grudge.
No,
hey,
no
like
grudge.
In the radio business, people are like, they're so individual. They hate each other. It's so fucking weird. Everybody hates each other in TV where everybody's so individual. But in hockey where it's like, you might hate each other. And then like, unless there's like a business thing that you're in that they're fucking, other than that, no one gives a motherfuck. Everybody's like, what's that? What are we doing?
But I think it's hard for the common person to like understand that because fans do hold grudges. Like the Colorado fans and the Detroit fans, they hold grudges. You think the Detroit fans are over what Claude Lemieux did to Chris Draper?
Claude Lemieux could walk into an event and talk, although he's not very social, like let's be honest here. We like Claude, but he's not very social. But like if you're a guy and you Probert who's demolished guys, and if he walked into a bar somewhere and was nice to people, people are like, what's up? Maybe a couple guys back. I'm like, yeah, you're right. It depends on how you play it. Like I could walk into Toronto right after I hit Caberlet, and people be so pissed. But I'd be like, "Sorry, all right, you're right. I'm gonna fight Belak. Well, I'm gonna go. Yeah. I'm gonna go home in 2 weeks. Now here, I got you guys. Like it just depends. And by the end of the night, everybody loves you. Yeah. Like I just seen that. I've done that before.
No, I'm with you. All right, the Cam Strick podcast with Adam Foote. Adam Foot.
He's like,
Foote.
Ridiculous.
This guy was so much fun, dude. We appreciate Adam Foote for giving us his time and coming on this edition of the Cam Strick podcast. And we know all the fans do too, including the shit kickers out there in
my
Saskatchewan.
People, my fucking people, the fucking shit kicking motherfuckers.
My DMs are open. Oh,
they love their family. They love their country.
My Cameo is open. Yeah. My Cameo's on sale. I'd love to send you one for the spring season.
Like talking about that. Like
I can do it out by the Traeger too, if you want me to, right in front of the Traeger. I had the fires going this weekend, Cam. By the way, first time really in several weeks that I had the fires going. This weekend.
I barbecue too, man. And Andy and I are gonna do more stuff with some videos.
We're gonna do some barbecue type.
We're gonna do that, and we're gonna do some stuff for the playoffs and stuff like that, and break down some quick hits so we can throw it on Twitter. Like we're gonna we have a lot of shit. We do radio shows and shit, so like. You know, we feel like
people got to understand. Yeah. Cam and I just started doing this. We're like, okay, we're just going to have fun with it, whatever. And now it's like, okay, we know what the people want. We got to start doing some more shit.
Yeah, we know you guys want, man. And you guys are fucking awesome. And you love it. And we all fuck up here and there. And sometimes but you guys are all real. And I don't know. I love it, man. I love having this. I told you, Andy, it's like, I fucking love having a following like this. Like these guys are hardcore guys and girls, by the way. Mm-hmm. We looked at this thing. There's a lot of girls out there.
A lot of women following me. A lot of women.
The women folk love it. We got to be sexy. I always want to say you got to still be sexy, Andy.
Yeah.
Damn right.
That's why I use my disco stick under my eyes every morning, just so.
No, you look good on TV, man.
Look a little sexy.
You look good on TV. I'm not gonna lie to you. No, I critique you. You're lucky I don't motherfucking chirp you and rattle you, but I don't do it. I'm not an asshole, and my wife will get mad at me. I can't do it.
Yes, she would. She always has my back.
She would get so fucking pissed.
Always has
if I did that. Because you know what? That's what karma. Like you don't do that to people.
No,
although you do it to me.
Yes,
although you do it, you still do it. But that's radio. Radio's different than you being down on TV. I don't give a fuck. Radio, I'm like, whatever. Like I can be like, but in TV though, if you get rattled, man, you can start sweating. Like fuck.
Oh,
Like,
I've seen you sweat on television.
Well, that's why I
oh
don't
my
do it. No one
God.
invites me to do anything because I would be really good and funny, but like in a weird way, I can't. I have to be. I don't know.
All right, Hair Club for men and women. 800-279-7878. Go to that landing page, hairclub.com/Cam and Strick. Get there today. You'll save hundreds and hundreds of dollars. CarShield and carshield.com, 800-857-2481. Again, 800-857-2481. Use that promo code CAM. You're going to save 10%. I know it's embarrassing, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. The Better Business Bureau. Yes, you do. BBB.org, Cam. Get there today. We love our friends over there at the Better Business Bureau. Listen, man, before you commit hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars to charities, make sure you're giving money to the proper companies. I mean, these companies are all vetted out by the Better Business Bureau. I mean, millions of companies have turned to the Better Business Bureau to make sure that they get the proper recommendations. And people go to the Better Business Bureau at all times, Cam. You know that. We love our friends over there at the BBB. BBB.org. Bellman and Bellman.com. Again, we love our friends over there with Bellman, too. These guys are incredible. They sell tires. Cam didn't know that. I just let him know that he can get new tires over there at Bellman. You can order a new Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram to your exact specifications, or choose one of Bellman's 130-plus top-quality used cars, Cam. They got everything over there at Bellman. Don't worry about your credit. Bellman guarantees your credit approval. You've got the Cam and Strick guarantee over there with your credit over there at Bellman. Bellman.com, BEHLMANN.com. Of course, Loosey Goosey, Cam. I got the mango right here, baby. You got all different type of flavors. What's your favorite flavor?
Well, I like the cinnamon, to be honest with you. That this helps my craving, get through the show, driving, all that stuff. You don't have anything caught in your teeth. It's quite lovely.
All right, use that promo code Cam and Strick and get your Lucy today. Stop smoking darts. Get the Lucy. Pouches, lozenges, the gum. You know what I'm talking about. Lucy.co. Get there today. All right, we thank Adam Foote. We thank everybody. CamandStrick.com. That's our website. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on Facebook as well. You know where to find us, at Cam and Strick. Keep those comments coming. We love to hear the comments. If you're a business out there, you want to partner with us, hey, listen, my DMs are always open. Cam's are too. Go ahead and shoot us.
And that's what matters. And I get back to you.
Showed us. Well, now you are. Now you're starting to get back to people.
Well, I missed a lot from 3. It just popped up like from it doesn't matter.
Right.
Sorry.
All right. Hit us up. And we'd love to partner with you and take your business to the next level. And we love hearing from the listeners anyway, get their feedback on everything they love or maybe they don't love about the Cam and Strick podcast. All right, this has been episode number 180. We're up to 180, Cam. You got to love that, with Adam Foote, Avalanche legend, dude. His jersey's retired with all those great superstars up there with the Colorado Avalanche. Impressive dude on the ice and off the ice. Hope you enjoyed this episode, as always, on the Cam and Strick podcast.